This episode of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Squarespace. Did you know a dream is just a great idea that doesn't have a website yet? It's true, and you can make that dream a reality with Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to turn your idea into a unique website. How about that? You can showcase your work, blog, you can publish some content, sell some products, some services in just a few clicks. They've got 24/7 award-winning customer support. You can customize all of it, look and feel, settings and products. They've got beautiful templates created by world-class designers. And there's nothing to install or patch or upgrade ever. You can head on over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Hey, it is Tuesday, April the 17th.
Yes.
It's April the 17th.
We got there.
You got like 13 hours to get your taxes in. Jeff's here.
Don't worry, the website's down. It's
Jan's
fine.
here. I know.
Hello.
I haven't filed mine yet, so this is going to be fun.
Ah, good.
Ben's here.
Hi.
Jason's here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm here. I don't want to alarm anybody, but I have
Hi.
1 terabyte of SSD in my pocket.
Well, it's
What?
960.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, gigabytes.
Walking around with all this storage.
What are you
Don't
storing on
fucking
there?
lose that.
I don't know. I was
These
handed the
things are
SSD
expensive.
this morning.
Oh,
like
okay.
15 minutes ago, so I don't know what's on it.
You just have to fly to
I
Mexico.
was going to
Yeah.
say,
It's
I better,
formatted, I'm sure.
better be careful going through an airport.
Oh, it's formatted.
Yeah. Yeah.
for fun.
Uh-huh.
Yikes.
Capital F.
What's up, y'all?
I don't know, man.
What's up?
Fucking
happened?
ballin'.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right.
I mean, I only have like 64 gigs of USB storage on
Right.
me, so
I got like 32 in my
what the
phone.
fuck
or
am I
something.
doing?
Scrub.
God,
I'm out of space.
I'm like a garbage dump over here.
Yeah.
Drill a hole in this SSD and put it on my keychain.
And set,
No.
set fire
Please
to
don't
my
do that.
body.
I've got a backpack full of loose papers.
Okay.
Nice.
That's flexible storage. You
Yeah, that's smart.
can format that however you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
Format it by pouring water into your bag.
Yesterday I made a bunch of beef stew.
Okay.
I was like, I'm just gonna have this for lunch for a few days. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It exploded in my backpack on my way to work this morning.
Cool.
So I just was sitting on the bus and I'm like, why is my lap so warm? And I unzipped my pocket and just this aroma of beef
Yeah.
How'd that smell?
populated the bus.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean,
Is it-
I enjoyed the smell. It's a
Did
good.
you taste it though? Like,
Oh, I had a little
Yeah.
bit last night.
Like last
I
night.
didn't taste any of the loose.
You didn't bury your
backpack
head in the
stew.
bag, just like a fucking horse with a feed bag. It's like, sorry about the smell, guys. I got this.
yeah.
No, I just had to wait it out for another like 20 minutes until we got to the station, and I poured it. I just held
dump
my
it in the-
backpack upside down over a trash can.
Oh,
I witnessed
I
it.
would have eaten it, man.
Yeah.
Shit. It gets better after a day or two.
Yeah.
Dump the bag into your
A
mouth.
little fuzz and fur in there gives it some
Yeah.
like a
Sand,
more
probably,
roughage.
dirt.
Yeah.
Some like Cheetos and stuff. Yeah.
It'd be like a loose SD card.
I witnessed
Maybe.
a girl on the bus a couple months ago having to apologize profusely to everybody around her for the salad she brought
Oh.
on
was it a
the
little bit-
bus
a
that
little
had
bit-
a lot of garlic and fish in it.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say either egg or fish.
And she was not popular on that bus. People were
Suppose
not
not.
thrilled.
She was heading
With
to her
her.
office to immediately microwave it.
You know,
I don't even mess
And
around
then
with fish
leave.
because there's
like she was getting dirty looks.
like, is it worth it? Like, there's
know.
always a smell associated with it.
Yeah.
Especially if you fry it or maybe it's. I don't like that fishy smell.
Yeah.
My neighbors next door, whenever it's springtime, they hang fish outside their windows
What?
and just dry it.
No.
Wow.
It's cool.
Okay, what kind of fish are we talking about?
I think like a milkfish, like a tilapia.
Okay.
Yeah,
They don't
okay.
stink that much.
Yeah, they don't stink that much. It's just
a friendly
interesting just
fish.
seeing it just hanging out the window
Sure.
like with their clothes.
Dried fish. Huh?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. To each their own, I guess. But no, it's just
They also dry
they
bok
taste
choy.
good. But man, I don't want to have to prepare them.
They're good for you.
Sure. Yeah.
They got
But
those-
that
they got
smell is
Rich in
not.
omega-3s,
Got those
man.
fatty acids.
Yeah.
Smell is not good.
Good for your joints.
Don't want it.
Yeah, stay
Not
limber.
worth it.
You just want to stiffen up. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Fine. That's
Stiff upper lip.
yeah.
No
Fair enough.
fish here.
I kind of don't want to beat around the bush too much because we can talk about God of War.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I kind of want to talk about God of War.
You guys didn't talk about it last week? What was that? Okay, good.
An embargo in place.
Oh, screw that embargo.
Yeah, it's out this week, later this
yeah.
week.
Yeah, I guess
Friday, right?
Thursday night,
Yeah.
Friday morning.
Okay.
Sounds like you guys have been playing some God of War.
That's right. That's what we have been playing.
Yeah.
I'm interested in hearing your take. My take on the God of War thing is I have not loved one yet.
Yep.
I've liked them.
Okay.
I've had an enjoyable time.
Say they are moderately likable games.
Okay, then
Yeah,
I would say
at
you are
most.
warmer to the franchise than I have been up to this point then, because
I've had my
been more
moments
like,
where I'm just like, fuck Kratos.
Yeah.
But also like, yeah, this is pretty fun.
Yeah, fuck Kratos.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me it's been more like, hey, this game is really gorgeous. Like God of War
Yeah.
3 is an amazing looking video game, or was at the time.
Oh, you mean the previous games?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good showpieces, but
Yep.
they're not a lot to
Totally.
them.
Yeah, but like it just what? Yeah, it
Very
was
one note.
never
The
it was never
mindless
my thing.
combat
The
really got-
story, the
Everything
character,
about them was
everything
one
about
note.
Kratos.
Kratos is one note. The combat is one note.
Yeah. Never connected with that franchise at all.
Yeah.
To the point
Yeah,
where I was like,
same.
man, it's just so lame seeing Sony trot Kratos out there again like he's a thing. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, he's just such a dumb, just a dumb thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Anyway, so
when
this
they,
is-
when they
this
announced
is
this
like a
thing,
reboot of
yeah,
sorts,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Well,
I mean,
Of
you heard the
sorts.
rumors for like a couple of years. Like, I assume Sony and Santa Monica making a new God of War.
Yeah.
And I just every time I heard that rumor, I was just like, oh, come on, really?
I mean, it's
Yeah,
God of War
right.
proper, but
Right.
it's just called God of War.
But
right.
then-
It is a reboot that is also
Yeah.
a sequel. It is a follow up, and like
Yeah.
the events of the previous games happened.
Okay.
Is I
Yes,
guess
it is in the continuity.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
very different in tone and style, like everything about it.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
Kratos has absconded
Right.
to the Northland. I guess
See ya.
he like killed Zeus.
Sure. I fucking
what happened?
I so don't
killed-
know
he
anything
killed all the
about.
gods,
yeah, he
right?
killed all the gods.
He
I
ran
guess.
out of gods to kill.
He ran up and hammered on the square button and ripped the guy in half, and then that was a god, I guess.
Yep,
You know, like I
sure.
super don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't
anything
know.
About what happened in those
I
games.
never got more than like a third of the way through 3.
That
but,
sounds right.
Yeah, so he's
That-
done with the Greek gods.
That actually like plays into the thing that I like the most about this game so far, which is that he ran out of Greek gods and now he is mixing it up with the Norse pantheon.
Yeah.
That's silly.
Like it's a total fish out of water story of here is
Okay.
this Greek dude who is now in a Norse area and Norse gods are showing up, and like it's an interesting idea
What's his beef with Norse gods?
so
'Cause-
well they play
don't know.
it really ambiguous, like you don't know.
okay.
Well, maybe if you played every God of War game, you know why he fled. But like at the beginning, he's been there for a long time, and they
Okay.
don't make it clear why he left Greece, why he's here,
Yeah.
what happened to the wife that has now died.
Mhm.
He's got this kid.
Yeah, like
what he's running from is not clear.
Right. The opening
His
of the
own
game is
demons.
like, hey, you've got to like the first kind of big quest is like get your wife's ashes to the top of this mountain, and so that kind of is the main thrust going through this stuff. So it's not even about like I'm so angry at these gods. Like it's like so far removed.
I'm so sullen.
He's more of a grumpy old man, angry now.
Yeah,
He's kind of tired and beaten down.
Okay.
a little bit. Yeah, and
it's a
and
little
kind
more
of and kind of in
relatable
hiding,
to
I
me,
guess.
I guess.
In hiding a
Yeah,
bit.
totally,
so,
totally. But the thing I like about it is that like
me.
mythologically themed things always just kind of assume that one mythology is like the totality of what exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if it's ancient Greece, it's ancient Greece. You know, like the other gods, like there are no Hindu gods or whatever.
Right.
Like this game basically imagines that every mythological pantheon coexists in
Somewhere.
the same world.
Okay, cool.
So like
Good.
he is a Greek god who has now fled to this Northland, and he's in Midgard, and he's mixing it up with like the son of Odin and shit like that.
Neat.
Like it's a cool idea
yeah.
to mix these different mythologies together.
And they really do well with the characters. Kind of, I think initially I was a little like put off by the kid and stuff like that, but like they very quickly established the tone of like, hey, while Kratos has been off being a motherfucker somewhere, ripping the wings off of stuff, this kid grew up here and knows what all these gods are and like understands the language.
Yeah.
So he's the smart one. He's the brains of the operation that can read.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But can't hunt really well.
Sure.
So it creates this thing of like the kid is becoming a more confident fighter as you go. And then Kratos is maybe like softening just enough to kind of make sure he is continuing to guide the kid properly.
He also just has this like slight layer of contempt for the kid, though.
yeah, there is a little bit of like I can't fucking believe I have to fucking shepherd this
Yeah.
fucker around.
Am I remembering correctly from the trailer where he just shouts like "boy"?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would.
Like,
Dude, that is the thing in this
like-
game. Like me and my girlfriend have taken to referring to each other as boy constantly.
There
That
is
Kratos is just like you run into some runes and Kratos can't read them, him, and he needs the kid to interpret, and he's just like, "Read it, boy."
Yeah, like it's a lot of like prompts will show up in world, and it's like hit square near the runes, and it's like a boy button.
Yeah,
basically.
like literally, you just call I'm like 5 hours in or something, and he must have said "boy" like 6 times at this point.
That's probably about
But he
as
doesn't
far
even.
in as I am.
It's really
It's kind of like you
hilarious.
maybe don't know if he knows his name fully. Like,
No,
if
he
didn't
shouts
use
it just enough.
Sure,
to where
like
you're
he says
all
it
right.
sometimes, but like maybe in the heat of the moment,
Yeah.
he's just like, that's good. Yeah,
But you
get
can,
over
I
here.
mean, you can tell when shit goes down and the kid is in actual trouble. Like he goes into full on like
Sure.
protective father mode. Like you can tell he really cares, but he's also kind of just a hard ass about it.
He basically clicks in both sticks to go into Spartan rage. When, shit gets really, so you can get extra mad. I think it's a really slow start. The first. Like when I first dove in, I didn't start playing it until after the reviews had hit, and so there was an element of me of playing this game going like, man, I really don't think I like the combat in this game at all. Like it's got some neat ideas, but gee, it is pretty bare bones, and also like. So it does the thing that Bruce Lee movies don't, where enemies will all attack you at once. It's not one at a time. It's not like you will get jumped from behind.
Okay.
Like you and Vinny were talking about Batman games,
Right?
Like,
It's
that
just like
thing
everyone's
of
going to stand there while you take one guy
20
out.
guys around, but
Yeah.
only one wades in at a time.
Like there will be guys far away trying to shoot you, and so there's basically a ring around Kratos of like where arrows will appear in terms of just like, hey, there's an enemy here, and if the arrow starts to flash, that means the enemy is in the process of attacking.
Sure.
And so parsing that out, actually, as someone who does not see the color red very well, not super easy, but whatever, it's something I had to focus on more, and it's not really a problem. But also, what makes it not really a problem is upgrades. Like the initial combat, I think is like I said, it's pretty bare bones.
It's simple.
Like you
What do we
can
got, like a light, medium
it's
attack?
it's light and
Light,
heavy, and you have an axe, and so you can put the axe away and do punches.
Oh, no blades?
No. So
yet,
it's I don't know what the weapon situation is, but so it really is like, so the idea then becomes like, okay, the kid, you have a button that the kid will shoot arrows at your target whenever, and if you are doing unarmed attacks, it builds up a stun meter. So you can stun an enemy and then click R3, and that will rip them in half,
like an execution.
And you will build up less stun with your axe, but you will still build up stun, so you can kind of work into those depending on what you're doing. But it really is about like, okay, like early on at least, like those stun attacks are way faster at dealing with enemies than the axe is.
Yeah. There's some other interesting stuff, like if you can throw the axe at their feet, it'll trip them.
Yeah.
So there's like a trip mechanic and some other stuff like that. That's cool.
I heard somebody say that they accidentally made a really good Thor game with the way that the axe
Kinda,
moves
yeah.
around.
So
like
the
Thor's hammer.
other best thing about the game besides boy is the fact that you throw the axe and then you hit triangle to recall it, and it just fucking snaps back in your hand.
It's like skate. It's like the skateboard fucking warps back to your hand, and you're like, hooray!
It's incredibly satisfying.
Does it feel like a lot of one-on-one like instances, or when you swing, you hit like 2-3 guys?
You
can
can
definitely
hit multiple guys.
And there are upgrade abilities that are designed to do AOE,
Okay.
like crowd control type stuff.
Gotcha.
So like out of the gate, like I just kind of just found the combat like immediately tedious, and I was like, man, I don't know. This is a
Depends on how it feels.
20-hour game.
Also,
with
this is not in any way like Dark Souls, but it's got some kind of control.
Similarities. It's
like,
R1, R2 for light and heavy.
It's R2.
That's kind of the.
And you also click in the stick to lock onto a specific enemy, and it's even got a little dot the same way. Like they've played some Dark Souls, but it's not exactly that kind of
Sure. Yeah.
But right around the time where I was kind of like petering out on it a little bit, I was going like, I don't know that I want to like have these fights anymore because they're just like boring. Like you start getting enough XP to start unlocking stuff on the talent tree, and the whole fucking game changes.
Yeah, like
Okay,
and it's not just a talent tree. There must be fucking like 8 parallel upgrade and progression systems.
Is that what the tree?
Yggdrasil world tree.
Norse mythology.
I mean, yeah. The word Yggdrasil has been said like several times already. It's
great.
It is
How about Nidhogg?
They've talked about the world serpent.
Yes, the world serpent
is that's just Nidhogg, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Also, Baldur of Baldur's Gate fame is there.
Sure.
So when that tree presents itself, do you get to see like the throughput, or is everything kind of hidden?
There's little videos.
It's all there. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll show videos, and so
it'll give you like some enticing stuff too.
Totally.
Okay.
Well, it's stuff like where there's like key upgrades for the kid, where it'll be like, now the kid will jump on the back of an enemy and
cool.
hold him up for you so you can fuck him up, or the kid is going to be doing more damage, or whatever. Like
It'll be your hype man.
Yeah, like the kid abilities actually seem really good.
So like there's a ton of, there actually ends up being a lot of options, because like when you can tell the kid who to shoot with his arrows, and the arrows do stun. So if you want to stun guys, you can have him focus. He'll also distract enemies that he's shooting away from you.
Yeah, so it's like you kind of get to. It's like someone else is pulling aggro, but you control when they do it because you hit the button to make him shoot the
That's really
arrows.
cool.
It's pretty neat.
That seems good for like crowd control. It seems like you can kind of manage.
And then you have a block, and if you time the blocks, you get a parry off of it.
Good.
So you start getting upgrades of like, okay, if you double tap block, there's a shield bash for dealing with blocking enemies. You start getting better combo enders where like, okay, I'm going to launch a guy up in the air and juggle him for a little bit and slam him back down with the axe.
Sounds pretty good.
You start getting like leaping attacks or dashing attacks, which I haven't gotten too much into those. But there's stuff like there's stuff that'll like combo off of the parry.
Okay.
So like the thing I just got that I'm into right now is you shield block parry and then immediately hit light attack, and he will just come down with the shield and go fuck you and knock you back. And so you get a little bit of knockback out of it to kind of give you, a little bit of breathing room. Which if you're getting jumped by 3 or more flying fucking dark elves or whatever, like it's a hassle. So,
dark elves.
So yeah, so it ends up being like as you flesh out the combat, it starts to feel really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
If anything, I don't want to say it has too much variety, but I definitely think long run variety is not going to be a problem, because there are.
This already sounds like more variety in some of the other games.
Oh, totally.
Not
It's a totally
counting
different
like the different weapon types.
Exactly.
I mean, like, it's kind of a loot game. It's kind of, they got a lot of Diablo in the God of War.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't feel like randomly generated.
It's not randomly generated, but
okay.
it is color coded, and there's a shit ton of slots for things.
Oh, man.
There's an upgrade system, and you can slot
fucking
enhancements
crazy.
into your armor.
So you've got
like what I'm hearing.
So you got your axe. You can put light and heavy magic attacks in slots on that thing. You can change the pommel out on the axe, which gives you different abilities. The kid has a bow.
So give it like a fire element or something like that.
The only one I found so far is just a heal.
Okay.
Yeah, I found like one more, but I don't remember what it is.
So like the axe has 3 slots on it. You can also upgrade the axe. The kid has a bow that can be upgraded. Upgrading the weapons, it creates new abilities on the ability tree that you can upgrade.
Cool.
There are sets of armor. You can socket gems and stuff into those. There's a separate talisman slot that is a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
There are mats for each type of item that you need to upgrade. Like, it's fucking crazy.
But it doesn't like it. I guess so. There's a luck stat in this game.
Yeah.
Which
you have
might
stats
tell you
for drops or for like
so yeah,
critical
I think it's
chances.
I think it's for ability procs, because
it's all of it. So it'll be like as your luck stat gets higher, you will get more currency out of drops.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that. And then also I think your some of your abilities will proc more frequently.
Yeah, and I just started getting into this, but I forget which item it is that you equip. But they start to have bonuses that trigger based on specific moves that you do.
You're right.
So it's like, I forget what it was. It's like, okay, if you do a heavy throw, then this ability will pop.
Yeah.
Because you have this thing equipped.
Right.
Like seems like there's actually a lot of stuff that you can customize.
Yeah, there's stuff where like, hey, if you and it's stuff like the descriptions will say like, there's a high chance of this perk activating when you juggle someone.
Right.
So like you activate it with a specific, like, okay, I do my launcher.
Neat.
That there's a percentage chance that when I launch, it's going to do this.
Crazy.
And so I guess like early on in the game, as you and I both are, it's kind of hard to say how that system pans out, but it's like incredibly promising right now.
Totally.
Like you look at it and go like, man, if there's enough items to like really get you thinking about your build or something like that,
Sure.
like that could be really neat.
Say I'd like to juggle an awful lot. Yeah.
Right,
I want
yeah.
those types of mats.
I feel like the
interesting.
game almost has just this protracted intro that's 3 to 4 hours long.
Yeah, and
then
like
as
I
soon as
said,
you
that was basically the part of the game where I was like kind of getting a little fed up with it.
Because they hold almost all of those mechanics back from you until like 3-4 hours into the game, and as soon as you get this boat, like everything changes. Like it starts feeling like a different game. Like,
Totally.
it opens up.
Like
That's when my life changed.
This is the Darksiders sequel I always wanted.
Interesting. Okay.
Like this game feels both like Darksiders 1 and 2 to me in different ways.
Yeah.
Like because it does have kind of that loot. It is kind of an open world. Like you have reasons to go back to earlier areas and look for collectibles that you may have missed.
Well, that's another thing is
And-
the enemies have levels.
Right.
And they are not super shy about throwing enemies at you fairly early on that you have 0 chance of beating. Like enemies that can kill you in one hit.
I've not encountered anything like that.
Really. There's
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of hidden away.
Okay.
They're like There's one in that lake when you first get there.
Are
There's
they
one...
like named in enemies
no,
or whatever?
No,
Okay.
but the health bars are color coded based on their strength relative to yours.
Sure.
Okay.
So they're like red if they're
so I
gonna
think,
fuck you up. Or
what is
something.
it? It's like green or yellow, I think, is stuff you can handle, and then it starts getting darker, and then
Yeah.
like purple means like fucking don't touch this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
if you
like
like a
the
challenge.
runic abilities and stuff, I think are really cool. That's the stuff that like you can equip on it. It's you slot onto your weapon, and it's basically just like literally different types of attacks. So like right now, if I hit if I hold block and hit heavy attack, he does an ice AOE. Like a lot of the attacks are about building up frost, and freezing enemies, slowing them down, stuff like that. And while they're frosted, they might take more damage or whatever happens. But so he's just got a punch the ground AOE boof frost thing.
Big boof.
But the other thing I found was and it says like what type of attack is this? This is a radius. This is a line. The other one is like literally like you are doing damage in a line, projectile style, and it'll do this type of damage.
Are those accompanied by videos when
Yeah.
you're watching? Awesome.
Yeah, you can see how everything works.
Yeah, they've just got like generic like Kratos and 3 enemies at this set range in a window, and you see
I have
what
to
he
say,
does to them and what it does.
The addition of videos in your
Yeah.
talent upgrade tree is probably
Huge.
one of the biggest
Huge, yeah.
video game
Yeah.
innovations in a while.
Because you see it and you know immediately if that's the type of attack you
Like
as
Assassin's
a player
Creed
are
was,
likely
was
to try.
huge for me because
Yeah.
I like see this. It's like, oh, when you jump off this cliff, you get slow mo, and I was like, oh, cool. And I watched it, and it looked fucking stupid, and I said,
Yeah.
never upgrading this.
Right.
I'm finding like maybe this changes, but you don't have enough XP to get everything you want by any means. Like stuff is pretty expensive, and I'm having to like make some tough choices about what I want early on.
Yeah, early on for sure. But I feel like that's starting to change for me now because it has like an achievement style system where like if you get 25 R3 stun kills, then you get a bronze tier of this achievement that is then giving you 2,500 experience or whatever.
I feel like
and
I've
then
got
there's 3 tiers of that.
I think those are called labors. I've got like
Labors,
2 dozen of those things, right? Like
Yeah.
every time you do something that is one of those things, it'll pop and say, "Hey, new labor discovered."
And so that'll be like kill 25 ogres, and then the next phase is kill 50 ogres, and kill 100
or like
ogres, or whatever.
Trip 25 guys or pin 25 guys.
Kill
to the wall.
25 burning enemies.
Yeah. There's tons of there. Yeah, there seems like there would be tons of.
So
ways
I'm at
to
a point
get
I like
now.
that stuff.
I feel like I've played just enough now to where the bronze tier on a lot of those are starting to pop. So I suddenly found myself with and I finished like the first like named quest or whatever. So at one point I found myself with like 6,000 XP.
Oh wow!
And I was like, oh,
All right.
okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna get everything now, I guess. It's weird. XP goes down like it's a currency. You earn it
Yeah,
and spend
you
it.
spend
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And so it's not like a constantly growing number. It's like you have 1,000 points. That's enough for this thing. Spend 1,000. It's just weird that they call it XP.
How do you raise your character level? Do you know?
That's everything you upgrade. So armor, all this other stuff. Like you see, like he's like Kratos. He's level 1.
Yeah.
And as you upgrade armor or equip new armor or upgrade your
that
stuff,
thing
like that starts to fill.
What's your anchor?
So I'm like
level?
halfway up level 1.
Okay.
Crotchety level.
But like it's when I say it's like a Darksider, like it's got some puzzly Zelda style things in it the way a Darksiders game, the way Darksiders 1 did.
I would assume so. Yeah, having like a the kid's
Yeah.
sidekick or whatever.
You're right, and
Yeah.
it's the axe specifically that you use a
Oh,
lot of
really?
the time. Where like so the axe when you hit it into stuff will freeze a thing. It just immediately will frost a thing over. So there are a lot of puzzles that involve you like spinning a wheel to lower a bridge, and then you see the gear spinning, and there's like while you're still holding the wheel, you can throw the axe, freeze that gear, so then you can let off the wheel, and the bridge will stay down.
They don't tell you that up front. That you can throw the axe while still holding the wheel.
Right.
And I just assumed it was a very video gamey thing that you couldn't do that, so I never tried.
Oh,
I think I did it by accident
Yeah, I did too.
and like threw it at the gear, and then the kid was like the kid is like the tutorial in the game also because or like
Because
the
he knows the land and he's
yeah there's
guiding you
that, but
along.
also like very much like I found some burning brambles or something that I have no idea what to do with, and you don't even know if it's a thing or not. You're like, is that just like environmental whatever? And so I just start throwing stuff at it, and the kid eventually just goes like, yeah, that doesn't seem to be like, I don't know what kind of tools we're going to need for this. And so you're like, it's very perfect. Like, okay, I know this is a thing, but I also know I don't have the thing to do this. And so I'm going to move on. And that stuff is really smart in a way that like, it reveals itself after that kind of 3 or 4 hours in where you're like, okay, the kid is actually really fucking fascinating from like a design perspective.
Totally.
And stays out of your way. Like, it's not an escort mission. You know, it's rarely like Like there were times
Yeah,
where an
how
enemy
often
will
does he
pick
get in
him up
trouble?
and,
I don't
and
think-
choke him.
Can he die? I don't think
There's
he
a
can-
meter on that when he gets picked
Okay,
up.
so he can be
that seems like you got to get him out of that. But that
incapacitated.
happened in exactly one fight in the entire game and hasn't happened since.
Yeah.
There's like you kind of get to that point where you're talking about. I think it's right around that same. Like a lot of stuff happens like a few hours in.
Yeah.
And one of the things is like a pop up that says, "Hey, Atreus has really gained a lot of confidence in combat." And he's going to help you out with this shit now. And you're like, oh, dope. Okay. And then the next set of upgrades for him become available for purchase.
Nice.
It's crazy how much they just like, it's almost like they roll out the red carpet at a certain point where it's just like,
Right.
all right, here's your shopkeeper that you can now visit at any time.
Yeah.
Here's your fast travel system. Here's your boat. Here's how the hub is going to work.
Here's a very
like-
clear indication that you have made it to this game's hub.
Here's how the side quests work. Like it's like in the space of 20 minutes they roll out all the actual structure of the game that they haven't really been telling you about.
Which is like that stuff's awesome.
It's
and
cool.
like if anything, I think the flaw of this game is they should get to that stuff sooner because I think the early parts of the game aren't necessarily like teaching you a ton of shit.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
kind of a drag.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're setting up character stuff, and you're getting a
little
sense
yeah,
of where
yeah.
the story's going.
A
But,
little
but
bit,
it is,
but
it's kind of
But I feel like even the interesting story stuff is all right around that time too.
Totally.
Like it's basically when you find the shopkeeper on the bridge. That from that moment there, it's like, okay,
Yep.
this is stuff I wasn't really sure that this game was going to have or
right.
not.
Yep.
And then like you run into more characters that you're talking to instead of murdering. Like, okay, I wasn't sure if this game was going to have any of that, or if I was going to run around and be the murder man
Right.
with Murder Boy. And like the story is pretty fascinating.
It's picking
so
up
far.
like everything picks up at a certain point to the point that I just got past that last night and I'm like fucking all right, now it's God of War, let's do this.
Right. Like now I want to see this thing through
Yeah.
in a way that like I super did not early on.
Tell me about that. How does that look with like the continuous camera stuff?
It's fine. It works.
I think if they didn't point it out,
Yes,
you wouldn't
yes.
necessarily.
I don't
notice
in any way want to like denigrate their cinematic aspirations, but like if there hadn't been a whole bunch of headlines last week, like the whole game is a single take or there are no cuts.
Honestly, like early on, there's a lot of shaky cam stuff of like, here's the kid walking in the cabin, and we're gonna follow him in there, and like it is a very shaky cinematic style that I actually don't think looks great. So like I think there are going to be some cutscenes along the way where that style kind of maybe isn't my favorite thing.
Sure.
Like you're just like, this seems like it didn't necessarily need to be this way. It's neat though. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like handheld camera work is good for fast action scenes, but maybe not so much for like quiet dialogue.
Like, they use it in a lot of like quiet moments where
Yeah.
you're just like, this is just kind of jittery in a way that
Right.
doesn't
It's
look.
like adding
it doesn't
tension
look
to a scene
good
that
because
doesn't have
you're
tension.
you're adding a frenetic quality
Yeah.
to something that is the opposite.
like
which
you're
is a
just
little
shaking
strange.
these characters around in a way that
Yeah.
you're just like, this doesn't.
Like the
I gotta see it in action.
the single take stuff is cool. Like I'm not
Okay.
trying to say it's
Yeah.
not.
It's not
but it's
taking
not
away anything.
It did not leap out at me until I started seeing the reviews saying like, "Oh, this is amazing! Look at what they
It's
did."
maybe one of those things where like after you, like knowing going in will be cool because I can watch throughout
Yeah.
the whole game
Yeah.
and be like,
Yeah.
wow, like this whole 30 whatever hours I spend with this is.
I
Just
prefer to
one
know that
continuous-
after the fact
Yeah.
because now I'm going to be looking for it.
Yeah.
But
I can see it going either way.
Yeah. I think it's got like I'm at a point now where it feels like this game just has nothing but potential.
Yes,
like
totally.
it's made
Totally.
good on that early stuff already,
Mhm.
and you start to see the potential in the systems of just like, okay, like I could see myself wanting to return to all these areas and do all this
Yep.
stuff, and
Totally.
the little puzzles to open some locked chests are like they're okay and worth doing generally.
Like I want to go back and fight those enemies I wasn't strong enough to fight.
Right.
See what's behind them.
Yeah. There's like just enough, there's like just enough like of a Metroid-y kind of
Yes,
thing to
totally.
it of just like, okay, like I clearly don't have the item to do this right now.
Yep. I think the other reason that is so refreshing is because prior to that, it feels like one of those games from last generation or before where it's just a linear corridor crawl essentially. Like
Right.
there's only one narrow path to follow for like 4 straight hours and like it's fine, but there's not a lot to deviate from.
Yeah. Once they start
then-
showing you just a few more paths
Yeah.
that you can take
As soon as-
to find stuff, like it really
Right.
feels like like I said, like I really like Darksiders, and I thought Darksiders 2 was like kind of a bummer in some ways, but still fine on its own merits. And I like the idea that this game is like tapping into that stuff like in a pretty good way
awesome.
is kind of rad.
Yeah.
That's cool.
it's not what I expected. Like even like seeing the reviews and seeing people talk about the game, it was not this was not quite the thing I thought it was going to be. Even from that, so yeah, I am pretty into it.
Okay,
same.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a shot then.
Friday, right?
Yes.
Friday, Thursday night, whatever it is.
Are you playing 4K?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think if you're on a Pro and on 4K, I don't think you get the option anymore.
Oh, really?
If it's in there, I haven't seen it.
That
Do you know if it's
Digital
running
Foundry-
60 in 4K?
It's not 60.
It is not 60. Okay.
It's not even 60 in 1080.
No,
Okay. It's
it
like
is.
40-ish, 40 to 50, which is like okay, but kind of jittery.
Yeah,
I don't know. The performance is a little weird, and my PS4 sounds like it's going to fly off the fucking shelf when I'm playing this
And
game.
you have a Pro, right?
Yeah, like I have never heard a console with a fan this loud in history.
Wow,
It's insane. My girlfriend has started calling it God of Wind when we're playing it.
Fujin.
Yes,
Mortal
exactly.
Kombat 4 Zone.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when you are playing it, it runs fine. In cutscenes and stuff, like the kind of shaky cam combined with some of the occasional slowdown there, it starts to look a little rough in spots.
All right.
I think it looks good,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I guess I'm not like blown away visually by it. There's
So-
like some really big moments that you're like, oh, that's a cool, crazy cutscene.
Yeah.
But it's like the animation's fine. Like those R3 kill animations are almost immediately repetitive.
Yeah, there's
kind of
not-
one per enemy,
Not many of them.
or one or two maybe. But generally speaking, like I've seen one of them where it's like, oh, he tries to stab me with a trident, and I grab it and do this and do this. It's like I've seen that like 10 times already.
But
What's
you
the
want
benefit to doing?
I mean, they're just instant kills if you get their
Sure.
stun up.
and
but
you don't get attacked while you're in the animation,
Okay.
so it's kind of like a free, just like give me a breather
Yep.
to murder this thing.
Yeah,
And
I feel like with like Doom, I saw those same
yeah,
kills.
These are
But
these are
you-
too long.
okay.
They're
Like
they're
Doom,
longer
Doom
than
was
the
they were
Doom
so
ones.
fast
Yeah.
in Doom, and they did the amazing thing in Doom of giving
Letting
you,
you speed
an
it up.
upgrade that speeds them up. These are like 3 times longer than the ones
Oh,
in Doom, so
okay.
they
That's
get
a
a little
bummer.
bit.
Yeah,
repetitive, but-
I definitely like it because it is kind of one per enemy, and that's how I've been killing a lot of enemies, because the game is incentivizing me
just
with
the most
bonus
efficient
XP,
way, yeah.
and also it is a good efficient way to do it. Where like it's
Okay.
But it seems like you will finish those challenges eventually, and you're going to get all these other upgrades,
Totally.
and like
Yeah.
there will be a ton of variety later on. From
yeah
the looks of it.
yeah. So I think for me the potential is all in just how many different runes are there to equip, and
Yeah.
what are the different attacks there.
God, they open up so many mechanics at that one point. Like they're immediately becomes they introduce a language component where the kid can read some stuff but not everything, and then you start effectively going out and finding a way for him to learn new writing systems,
Okay.
and then he can read more stuff. Like they just add so many little.
Which is one of my favorite dumb little things
Yeah.
that games like
Yeah.
when Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I really
did
liked
that
when,
at one point,
when
right?
Rise of the Tomb Raider
Yeah.
had the language learning stuff.
Like that stuff's cool.
Yeah.
And contextualized
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
I think that's the other thing.
Right.
Like they give a lot of really good context to this stuff, where like when you go into the codex and start reading up on enemies, like as you attack and as you fight an enemy, it will appear the first time you see one, but then as you kill a few of them, it will start to flesh out, and
cool.
all of it is written in the perspective from the kid.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's all like,
neat.
oh,
All right.
this guy seems like his weapons are on par with father's in some ways. Like it's well written.
Yeah.
And
And he
that's
has
cool.
he has an in-world notebook. Like you see him taking notes on things
Yeah.
here and there. So it has a
That's fucking
It's
cool.
reference point.
It's neat.
It's neat. Yeah, that stuff is.
It's a
just
neat
really
fucking
cool.
game.
Yeah, it
Definitely.
got a lot of cool ideas
Sweet.
for sure.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
God of War.
Yeah.
Do you think there's real quick? So I've never played any of the God of Wars.
Oh,
Do you
wow.
think there's any point in learning about Kratos' story?
You could go read Wikipedia.
He's
Like,
mad. He
read
fucks. I don't know.
Yeah. Like it might be worth seeing how 3 ends, just so you really know. Because I
Yeah.
don't. I'm pretty sure he kills Zeus at some point.
Sure,
I don't
probably.
know.
I
He does.
I super
Yeah.
don't remember.
Like the whole thing. It's like 3 games of him trying to avenge his dead family, right?
Yeah.
I don't think.
And
I
just
don't think
getting
there's-
more and more
I don't think
angry.
there's much more to it than
He's
that.
so mad, Ben.
That's the only
You have
thing
no
I know
idea.
about him.
And he becomes a god. Like
No,
that's,
you don't know.
Which they fill you in on if you don't know within
Okay.
the first hour.
I didn't
like,
know that.
Like he is a god. Like he becomes the god of war, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I guess.
He
yeah.
does.
Once
I mean, they
Ares
have to
is
name the
done,
game
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Greek god of war. Who
Yeah.
knows what
Oh,
gods
jeez.
are in this milieu waiting?
Yeah.
Like Again, I think that is maybe the most fascinating aspect of the story is the fact that they're mixing specifically because he
that is kind of cool.
is dismissive of their pantheon.
Oh, sure.
Like
Totally.
Like,
Like the kid knows about it
Yeah.
because his mother has taught him about it.
because
and
his
stuff.
mother is indigenous and she
and
told
so-
him her folklore, so he knows about it and is interested, and that's why he can read.
And now Kratos kind of needs to know it because you're out on this adventure and
Yeah.
some shit's gonna pop off. So he has to like play it cool because the kid's like, I thought you didn't believe in any of this shit. It's like, maybe I don't.
yeah, like he was just like,
Boy,
oh,
tell me, but what is who's this guy? Like it's literally like, kid, what do you know about the?
Yeah, like-
tell me about your damn wrestling.
Like, he effectively is like, I never cared about this shit. Like, fuck these gods. But then, once he needs to know because he
Yeah.
starts having some encounters, it
he
becomes
starts
a-
trying to get it filled
yeah,
in.
it's a really cool idea.
cool. Yeah.
I'm super curious to see where that game goes.
Yeah, I hope it holds up. Because also, like the other thing I guess I would say is like, I think there is a lot of variety left in the combat and stuff like that. But also, like you see the end of the trees.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a huge. It's not pages and pages of scrolling down.
Yeah.
It is pages and pages of scrolling over. So it's like, here's your bow stuff, here's your attack
shield
stuff, here's
and
your
your axe.
shield stuff,
Yeah.
and a lot of the shield stuff is going to be like shield bash into this or shield bash into this, and fleshing out that system I think will be good, provided that the enemies have a depth that requires you to actually use those tools.
That's my concern.
Yeah, if it ends up being just like, oh well, here's the one cool fast way to
Well,
kill these things,
Just
then
like everything else, though, when you get to that hub, they
Yeah.
start rolling out a bunch of new enemies with different kind of resists and movement patterns and all sorts
yeah,
of stuff.
once you
that
start getting
seem
guys
to-
that just like block, like,
Yeah, there
honestly,
are
that
guys
was the
that-
biggest, like, okay, good,
there are
okay,
guys that block your axe throw, and
Yeah.
that is and there are guys that'll burrow underground and like a lot of different
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that sort of
Sounds exciting.
negate some of your abilities.
it's neat.
Seems pretty fucking cool so far.
Yeah, it's getting some praise
Yes.
all across the board.
Yes, Dan
Seems-
certainly was quite into it as
I'm
well.
sure.
But yeah, I think that was like talking to those guys yesterday because Vinny has played a bunch of it too, and having them both say like, "Oh yeah, it's a super slow start." I was like, "Okay, good, all right."
Oh,
'cause
they
I'm-
said that too?
yeah,
Okay, I didn't.
'cause I'm just like, "What the fuck are people
Yeah.
saying about this? Like, what is going
Yeah.
on?" This is like,
Seems like that's different from other God of War games. They've always started like they throw you right in the middle of a big battle.
well, so that's the thing though. There is a big cinematic thing
Okay,
that
yeah,
happens at the
the
beginning of the
first
game.
30
It's
minutes.
really more that just like
Gotcha.
the combat is a little flat early
Okay, yeah,
on,
yeah.
and the kid doesn't seem like he is a meaningful help. And,
Yeah,
and
so
so,
so
it
it's not
really-
like
to
a
be
quick time
clear-
event of him climbing a mountain to bring the ashes.
There
out
are no
Okay.
quick time events that I've seen so far.
I mean,
Really?
no, they're
That's-
totally. I mean,
But
there are
not that you have to hit buttons.
Yeah.
Like prompts.
Yes.
on the screen.
Prompts on, not to like, hey, if I don't do this, I'm gonna die, but like,
Right.
hey, to move this thing, I've got to mash this button.
Oh, whatever. I'm talking
Yeah.
about like
Okay,
cutscenes
no,
with like
cutscenes, you know, yeah.
the standard God of War thing.
They
Right.
even make climbing better because the kid is with you, and so you've got like time in the boat going from place to place. Like there's little bits of downtime when you're like climbing a ledge. The kid will jump on your back.
Yeah.
and like that's when they interact.
Some little bursts
So
of
that's
character
when you get the
development.
you get the little bits of just like, so what's going on with this, and you know, so you're kind of getting these details filled in, and they've got neat little cutoffs for if you dock the boat before the story is over. The one I got
good.
last night is like Kratos going like, boat time is for stories, boy. Get back on your shit. Stop fucking around. So like, okay.
But just to be clear about the slow start, I think like they set up intrigue and story terms in the first 20, 30 minutes.
Totally,
It's not-
yeah,
It's
like,
not,
it's-
it's not the story that's slow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the story
Like,
is fine. Like
I
there's
immediately
stakes,
wanted to
there's
know
stuff.
what was going on. It's just what you're doing is fairly
Interesting.
it's a little too
predictable for the
linear,
first
and
2-3
the
hours.
combat is a little too straightforward.
Yeah.
All right.
But it gets there.
Cool.
It gets there. They're in a hurry.
Thanks for the heads up.
totally.
Yeah.
You guys play anything else?
I wrapped up Ni no Kuni.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Oh, what's the final hour count?
Neato.
So on screen it says
Sorry. Get out of here.
I'll leave.
Get out of here with that.
says 180, but a lot of the I would say probably 40 to 50 of that is me like leaving it on while I'm cleaning and checking back in just to clear out my cache of kingdom currency and all that.
Still a lot though, even subtracting.
Yeah, and I've got so kind of as you build your kingdom, you can get the final kind of villagers you can have is 100, so you can have 100 different people in and doing different stuff in your kingdom. I have 92 at this point, so I'll probably get those last 8. I'm not quite sure where they are, so I have to like go around and kind of just pop around into worlds and figure stuff out. But overall, I tremendously enjoyed my time with it. I think they don't necessarily hit the big story marks kind of that I wanted to see, but it's still like if you're invested enough in the main character story and Evan kind of rebuilding this kingdom, like that stuff I think has a pretty solid resolution. And
Does he have the gun all the way through the game? Don't spoil it. Oh shit! Don't tell me.
well, I mean, like his ranged weapon is guns.
Okay.
And they'll be
All throughout.
like blunderbusts or like kind of period accurate stuff, but you always have the 9mm
okay.
sidearm.
Yeah.
That's
rad. Okay, that's all.
because you're gonna upgrade that one too
You gotta
separately.
stay strapped.
Yeah,
That's right.
he's not a man of cowardice.
Tactical laser sight.
They never addressed the like big realization I had. I talked about having like a really big like Phoenix Down kind of truck hitting me in the face moment. Like, it wasn't a moment; it was a realization of something. But they never explicitly addressed it. I told Jan about it.
Man, that shook me. I stayed at my desk. I had 5 things to do, but then I stayed at my desk after Ben blew my mind.
Had to
with
collect yourself.
Yeah, I was like,
they never explicitly said
God.
anything about it. But I think I was spot on the money.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool, really delightful. We're easy. Like if you're looking for a 100+ hour RPG that doesn't require it's not the hardest RPG I played by any means. It's probably too easy overall.
Somebody wrote into the podcast this week saying that people are using Cheat Engine on PC to increase enemy values.
Yeah.
They're setting like
Oh.
enemy like damage and health to 150% just to make it harder because it's such a cakewalk.
Rory talked about that when I was talking about the difficulty. But yeah, like hopefully it would be cool if they released some sort of like difficult mode or some sort of patch or add-on.
There's
or
a season
something.
pass for that thing. I don't know
Yeah.
what that's going to be.
I have no idea.
Everything has a season pass now.
But yeah, that was cool. And then I played PUBG for the first time in a long time because they rolled out their new war mode, which was their like temporary. So before it was Tequila Sunrise, were they
I
calling
think that
it?
was the last one.
And
That
these
one was don't tell me. Shotguns and
shotguns
something else. What was it?
uh,
Shotguns
car-
only?
like,
Like
more
cars and shotguns? I
I, don't,
forget. Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't play it,
Yeah.
but I did play war mode, and this is exactly the mode I have been wanting in PUBG since the first time I played it. Because what this is it's your teams of 8, and you're in a plane, and the circle is tremendously small. It's about 3.5 by 3.5 squares on the total map. And it's a predetermined area. I've fought in like the shooting ground. I've fought in kind of all the major cities, like farms. They're just very small. If it's not in a major city, there'll be like 2 buildings and then just like hills.
Yeah. How many teams of 8? I'm sorry.
I think 3 teams of
Oh,
8.
that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Maybe
I thought it was
4.
still 100 people.
Yeah,
but
that's what I
okay,
assumed.
all right.
Does it match you into a squad if you don't have people?
Yeah.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't 100.
Okay.
There was just like logistically wasn't enough room. I think.
Yeah,
I think it was
that'd
4
be a
teams.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, like 3 squares. That sounds like just a big ass building, and
Yeah.
with 100 people in there, that'd be nuts.
And the way it works is you spawn with a random gun. It'll be like, an assault rifle with anywhere between a red dot and a 2x. And then either like a pistol or a shotgun and 5 bandages and a grenade. And everyone spawns at first at the same time. And then there's kind of like a fun period of figuring out where your team's going, and like people will mark all over the map. And so once you'll all land together, and then when you die, you'll get back into spectator mode, and then every 40 seconds there's another drop.
Okay.
So if you're dead, you wait out the plane drop, and then you drop in with whoever else is dead.
Cool.
And it was perfect for me because I've been wanting to practice the shooting in that game. I've been wanting to I figured out what kind of weapons I like. I found out I have a fondness for the VSS that I would have never otherwise did, because that's just the gun I spawned with. And
Right.
on a pretty
That's
good
the sniper with the silenced sniper with the built-in scope and
Yeah.
built-in. Yeah.
And yeah, it was just, and like, so not only that, so I was like discovering just strategy for how to approach people who are up on a hill. Then I'm like, okay, I can actually use these hills to my advantage. It's all the stuff that good PUBG players know because they played a shit ton of the game, and they made it's that, but without the 20 minutes of looting and moving to a spot and worrying that you don't get picked off by a sniper who's got your beat or whatever.
Right, yeah.
It was just good, hands-on, nonstop practical experience. It makes me really sad that it's gone now.
Yeah. It's a shame they can't find a way to keep these things around, but I guess you really have to not split your player base in a game like that.
They've got
too
so
much.
many players that you think it'd be fine, but I guess that's the thing is okay, so you felt like you were getting practical experience. You're sad that it's gone. do you feel like you want to play standard PUBG? Because that's the thing you were kind of getting good at, right?
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to. It hasn't like made me want to play solo and like just go grind out some PUBG. But now, like if I have friends online, I'm probably way more likely to like reach out to them and want to play with a group, because now I feel like I'm not going to be holding people back as much.
Right. That's what I was wondering. If if it's making you hunger for the core experience, or if it is replacing
in
the
a
core
way,
experience.
because it made me think that maybe I can win games more competently now. Just honestly, so I had about an 18-hour span of it left when I started playing it, and I probably played like 3-4 hours. I got more practical experience in those 3-4 hours than I did with my other 100 hours combined, honestly.
I mean, that's the thing. When we were streaming that game last year, you know, it was very much about like, okay, we need to just like, we have to lose some matches, but like get in there and shoot the guns. Yeah. You know, and lose while shooting the guns to get better at shooting the guns. Yeah. There was definitely like a moment where we had to kind of make that turn just in terms of learning.
Yeah.
And you know, it's getting experience at all ranges, like with long range stuff, just laying prone in some grass and just taking shots at people. There's plenty of people to shoot out in like kind of a sniper scenario. I was getting shotgun practice. I was using grenades for the first time because like groups of people would be camped down in buildings.
People are probably a little more bold because they know they're just going to come back.
Totally. Yeah. So that was part of it. So, you know, I don't feel like I was playing against like the best players using the best strategy or anything. Yeah. But I was getting that experience. Yeah, so that was really fun. I like you said, it's a bummer that they can't have it going. I understand concerns about splitting player base, but also like
they have so many people though.
They have a ton of people. It's still one of the most popular Steam games, if not still. I think it's still the most popular Steam game. But like if certain players are only going to play those modes, like it's like use map settings in StarCraft, you know, or in Warcraft, like you know. Have it there for the people who want it. It's not gonna steal away people playing.
You know, maybe get to a point where you are allowing more people to set up custom games or something like that. So I think they still gate that.
And that's the thing. I was talking to like Will about it, and he was having a ton of fun doing like custom versions of that, like where everyone was spawning with SMGs, or you know, because you can tweak what guns people are spawning with. Like that's really cool. That would get me totally playing it way more often.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next event because I didn't get to play Tequila Sunrise, but it sounded fun. This was a lot of fun. It's way better, I think, than the modes that they're doing in Fortnite. They seem a little more creative.
Do you know if are they on a set schedule? Is like every week at X time they drop a
I'm trying
new
to
mode?
think what other ones, because at PAX they were running those modes on the floor.
Okay.
So people were just like, you waited in line and you weren't sure what you were going to get. So some people got the Tequila Sunrise stuff, some people got War. And there were more modes, but I can't remember.
Okay, so they probably got some more mapped out.
They might have like a blog up somewhere that talks about it, but I don't know. Yeah,
that's cool. That's
kind of it for me.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to bring up a Lethal League. I've been banging that.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I've been banging that drum for years.
Yeah.
And I finally got my circle of friends on Xbox. I got them copies, and I'm like,
if this is what it takes,
one way to do it.
This is what it's gonna take.
Right.
You guys have to play this. And holy shit, we did that game a disservice a few years ago in Game of the Year for not bringing up in multiplayer, because
really good music.
Yeah.
Really good fucking music. The netcode in particular, I'm playing Cross Coast with these guys. Spot on, man. It feels so good, and that game is so fun. And it's the first time that I tried out that Strikers mode, which is the target on either side of the level or whatever, or the screen. So you don't get hit by the ball. Actually, you've just got to guard your particular target or whatever.
Having to aim that ball is
not
the easiest.
And it gets crazy, right? So you're not getting knocked out by the ball every time. So you can just bash it back and forth.
And
it gets
for people
like
who don't
War.
know what Lethal League is, I guess maybe we should even explain it, because it's like it's a fighting game style presentation,
baseball fighting,
but
it's
it's kind of
Pong.
smash. Yeah, there's a little bit of Pong involved, and everybody's got like the big like a bat or whatever, and you just hit a ball, and the more that you hit it, the faster the ball gets, and it gets like just up to supersonic speeds, and the presentation matches. Like that game is really good.
When it gets going faster and faster, and you hit it, and just like the screen fucking turns white, and you see the speed meter increasing, and
everyone's colors inverse.
There's
some
it's
anime
amazing feeling.
There's some anime
in that game
up in that thing for sure. That sequel's coming soon.
Yeah,
really? This year, Lethal League Blaze.
Weird. Is it a full new game, or is it more of a champion edition kind of thing?
It's got some new modes.
Okay.
It's got I think the boss character will be playable. And I don't think they've said too much else other than that. They put out a trailer a while back and kind of said like, hey, 2018. And they're on it. So yeah, cool. Very excited about
totally
more of that.
Hit some balls around.
That was hard, man, because when that game came out, like no one was playing it online.
I couldn't find
people. It was like you say the netcode's great. I'm like, that's cool. It's too bad that like no one was ever playing it.
But yeah, like I said, it took me to finally get copies to these guys,
right? Yeah.
But they like head over heels and like every night they're playing it.
It's a good ass game.
It's really, oh man.
I participated in a couple like online Steam community tournaments that they were running, and holy cow, there are some people who are very good at Lethal League.
Yeah, fuck, I can't even.
Oh yeah, we're terrible at the fucking game. But,
good, perfect. That's
we're
that's whatever, man.
Great time with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That game's good. Yeah. I played a couple of things.
Did you? Yeah, you want to talk about boats before we go to break?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about boats and pornography. Maelstrom is
in
out.
which order?
We'll start with the boats.
Okay. God, why can't we do it together? Okay.
Don't start the show with a show stopper.
All right. Maelstrom
is
early access.
Maelstrom. Yeah, it's an early access. It's on PC. It is like I'm gonna say it's like 16 player. I think is where it's at. Okay. And it is a very kind of fast arcadey boat game. Kind of a battle royale thing, because it's like when you sink, you're out, and you're dealing with armor. You have to come about and shoot sideways.
How is this played? Like,
I'm playing with a controller. It's behind. Behind the boat.
Okay.
Behind the boat perspective. You can use mouse and WASD, but I grabbed the controller to see if that was any good, and sure enough, it is pretty good. Okay. It's left stick for all your movement, speed up and down and turning. And then right stick is all camera. So you kind of aim by turning the camera.
Sure.
And it'll have a big icon that shows you kind of where you're basically aiming, but also if your guns are loaded or not.
Okay.
So you shoot, the icon drains, and then starts to fill back up to let you know when you're going to be able to shoot again on that side. Otherwise, you got to spin around, because the cannons on the other side of the ship are probably still loaded.
I've seen other ship combat games like this, but it's multiplayer and it's like a bunch of people on one boat or whatever. But you're controlling everything.
I am the boat.
You are the boat.
Is the boat movement like kind of slow and plodding like you would expect?
It's a little bit faster. Okay. It's like it feels arcadey, I would say.
Are there like environmental things?
Yeah. There are creeps basically, and they will drop upgrades when you kill them. Also a big Roshan-esque sea monster that seems like it would be hard to kill me in one fucking hit.
Man, that sounds kind of cool.
No. Boda. Well, that's it for the show.
All right.
No, it's you also equip a captain to your boat, and you can pick a few different boats, and they will have different. The captains have abilities.
Gotcha.
So you have abilities on cooldowns that are be like, okay, this is going to be fire damage or whatever for the next shot or whatever it is. I haven't sunk into too much of the captain stuff.
How's the booty? I understand there's.
You gain booty at the end of each match, and then
it's not a loot game exactly.
No,
right?
it's not, because anything you collect in match is going to be done at the end of that match. But you are persistently leveling up your boat, and so I hit level 2 and I get an increased turn radius. And as you level up the boat, you will start to make choices about slots on your ship, whether you want I want better sail armor, or I want better turning radius, or like those sorts of choices, and you can kind of slot that in and out as you see fit before a match.
I don't like people. Do I have to play with people?
No.
Okay. I can just fight against bots?
No, I mean, you can fight against bots, but also you can jump in and like fighting against people might as well just be better bots, because it's not I mean, I think there is a team mode.
Okay.
But I didn't play that shit.
All right.
Yeah, it's neat. It seems like
it looks really cool.
It seems a little slight right now, but they're in early access,
but it's playable.
It's very playable.
I didn't know that you could do it with a controller.
Playable.
That's
cool. Yeah, it's very playable. It's a good time.
Rad. Okay, boats done.
All right, boats check.
The porn.
I played VR Kanojo.
Oh no,
Kanojo. What's Kanojo?
VR Kanojo is it's on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 sentences of the Steam description are: "This is Steam version. All girls are 18 plus."
Good.
It's good that they spell that out.
Yeah.
So
are they digitized girls? Or
yeah, they are. Yeah. It's like,
why would they need to?
You're in a bedroom of a girl, and she's speaking Japanese to you, and she needs help with her homework.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Oh, it's this one.
That's how it always starts.
Yeah.
I've seen.
It's been out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Kanojo.
But I finally okay, let's take a look at this thing and see what's up. And so the first thing I did is download the game. and then you can go to the website and download their 18+ patch.
Oh.
To get real.
Which is not it's not even on Steam. You have to go to them to get the patch.
Yeah, because they can't put the porn on Steam directly. All the visual novel games are doing it this way.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Where you download the game a cleaned up,
I didn't
somewhat
realize
cleaned up version of the
Valve
game
was
from
that
Steam.
strict about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
I knew
then
that they were strict about it. I was
and
wondering
then you
how
go
they're
to their
getting
website and
around it.
download a patch
I see.
that in this case was just a directory named H.
Nice.
And I put the
Nice.
H directory
for
into,
homework, right? So if it's
yeah.
18 plus, the
Yeah,
homework
nice.
is harder.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
like
harder.
physics.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real hard.
Okay.
Tell me about the physics.
I don't know. I don't even have that much to say about it other than that, like it's a really fucking empty experience.
I'm sure.
Of just like, here's this, like, they've got it. It's subtitled, which subtitles in VR are always fun and weird.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so it's like I stopped at some point before it got super porny. Like you get to a point where there's a menu, and I was able to scroll through the menu and be like, oh, okay, that's where okay. Like the first thing is like kiss, and you're like, I'm going to lean in and it's going to make kissing noises as I lean in on this anime lady.
Wait, did you have to do that?
Yeah, that was like the part of the
you physically had to lean
I
in.
leaned-
You have
I had
to
to
teach
lean
her to
in.
love, Jason.
The first thing they have you do is like she goes like, I'm so hungry, I'm going to eat a Pocky. And then it's like, I'm going to put the Pocky in my mouth, and then you eat from the other end. And it's just some Lady in the Tramp shit.
Wait, you get the end without any
VR.
of the
Yeah, man,
any
screw
of the
that.
frosting on
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, hey, she's,
Somebody's getting stiff.
Relationships are not worth it,
hey,
man.
just keep all the Pocky to yourself, I guess. It's a separate VR game.
Eat all the Pocky by
Yeah,
yourself.
Yeah. And then after that, there's like, let's kiss some more. And you're like, oh. Okay.
But I got almond crunch in my.
But it's just like you lean forward and there's kissing noises, and then it fades out and fades back up to the two of you laying on a bed, and there's a menu. And as you start to scroll through the menu, it starts with kiss, and then immediately escalates to feel up some boobs.
feel up some
First
boobs.
base,
No,
then
that's
you
not what it
second
says.
base.
That's not what it
damn it.
says.
Damn
And then from there, just gets more and more
Just keep rounding the bases.
to the point where like the 8th thing on it is just missionary, and you're like, all right.
Oh, okay.
All
I
right.
see where this is going.
I probably should have played it without installing the patch to see what it was
You're at a
without that,
Catholic
but I
school.
just like before even running it for the first time, I copied that H directory over, but did not get to the quote unquote good stuff. I don't know. It's got a toggle in one of the menus that literally is show penis on off.
Oh, really?
If you
Okay.
if you want to know what this thing is, it reminded me of that summer lesson game for
Yes.
PSVR,
Yeah, sure.
but not that.
More of that.
Or all of that, I guess. I don't know.
I downloaded it. What the fuck? I forgot what the hell it was called, but it was a standalone, very isolated game, and you could just like pose the girls. Like you can choose like a huge amount of like
Source filmmaker.
It might be something like that.
Yeah.
But have them do dances or whatever. But then got into creepy stuff. But the dating sim thing, I don't think I could get into that because that.
So that's the thing is, I don't think this thing actually is a dating sim.
Oh, really?
I think it's got 20 minutes of like,
Eating
whoops,
Pocky.
I spilled water on my shirt.
Right. Oh,
And then
okay.
everything after that is just like you go into the menu and unlock the next thing. I don't know. Like I said, I'd have to dig into it more to know, and I'm not sure if I'm going to. But like I said, like you go through the first 20 minutes of like, I'm gonna. Like you're just reaching up on a shelf to get a book, and I guess that means I'm supposed to now like look up your skirt.
That sounds terrible.
Or look over to this exit sign that moves on to the next scene.
Yeah.
And then once you get to a point where it presents you like it's her holding up an iPad,
Right.
and you can kind of button through all of the different things. And I think you just do one to unlock the next one, to unlock the next one, to unlock the next one. And I don't know that there are
I am really curious to see
huge
how,
sequences associated with those. I think it might just be like, all right, now you're doing it.
I want what do you do in the first person porn? Do you actually have to go through the movements? Do you have to use your hands at all? I don't understand.
I don't know. It requires the hand controller.
Like when
so I don't.
I think of VR porn, it's like I'm a third party in the room. I'm the creeper, right? And
Right,
I'm just kind of
yeah,
looking
yeah.
around and watching them do their thing. But if it's a
Well, there's
If
no
it's a
finger
POV.
tracking, so I don't know. I don't understand the depths at which you can.
Yeah, it's
strap a
I-
fucking post to your dick or something, I
Sure,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm doing that anyway. What?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know who would ever play something like this. Also, can I borrow the Office Oculus?
I think Jason has it
I've
right now.
actually
Yeah.
got that at home, and we're gonna need some time.
Just make sure you clean it.
I'm fascinated by the interactive porn space.
I
and I always
am
have
too,
been.
because I know that it's going to be extremely popular. Porn in any medium is a huge thing.
I didn't see any of that at PAX. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't?
No.
It's there.
It was a little bit
I'm
let down.
sure it's there.
That's behind the velvet rope.
Okay.
Yeah. Or in somebody's hotel room.
I
or something
remember
like that.
back in like 92, 93, we had this app. It was a program. It was just simusex.exe.
All right.
And it was just like static images of a woman drawn, and then you picked a thing that you wanted to use on her, and then it was literally just you just move the mouse up and down.
Oh, Jesus.
And then there's like a light animation there, and you're like, well, I'm doing this. This is happening. I'm gonna do this one for a while now. How far we've come.
Yeah, I suppose.
Literally.
Oh, jeez.
That's virtual reality.
That's all I got.
That's all right. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for that field report.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know. All right. On that note, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back with more.
Porn.
Did you know that support for today's show comes to you in part from Squarespace?
I mean, yes,
Okay. Great.
but they don't know.
No, they don't.
But they do now.
They do now. And did you know? Think it, dream it, make it with Squarespace.
I actually didn't know that part.
Yeah.
So
no.
that's actually really helpful.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'm going to run this down for you because you seem like a fine, upstanding individual that might have some things you want to move on the internet.
Yes, I do seem like that.
So you can do this with Squarespace. Squarespace is like kind of a one-stop shop for setting up a website to do stuff, whether that's like, I don't know, what do? You take pictures?
Yeah.
All right, great. You can put your pictures up on this website.
I took a picture of a dog I saw this morning.
Great.
And now I have no home for it. I just it's sitting in my phone and it's going to get lost.
You can share that with the world on your own domain, on your own website. You could have like, here's a picture I took of a dog.net. I don't know.
Ooh,
I don't know what
yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah, don't register that if you're listening.
Yeah, if you're listening, don't register that. But they've got beautiful templates over at Squarespace that make it very easy for you to get that content in front of people. And if you want to sell stuff like prints of a picture of a dog,
I am totally comfortable selling prints of somebody else's dog on my website.
Yeah, if you took the photo, that's yours.
Exactly. It's art.
That's right.
I took it at with a cool angle and there's a filter on it.
You can't own art.
That's
You curate it.
I can own
Well, you
art.
can own art. The IP rights to this art definitely would belong to you. You can customize all of it from look and feel, settings, and products. It's all optimized for mobile, so if people want to buy your dog pictures on their dang phone,
Oh shit.
they can do it.
Mobile is the future.
Mobile is the future, my friend, is now. You can showcase your work, all that stuff in just a few clicks. Squarespace has analytics, so you're going to know how many people are looking at that picture of that dog.
At least 100
Yeah.
people, hopefully. That's my goal.
Hopefully, yeah.
My Q3 goal is...
If you get 100 people, maybe at that point you're like, maybe we need a second picture of a dog.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And if no people look, then you're like, maybe I need a picture of something else, like a goose.
And I bet it's very easy using Squarespace to swap out a picture of a dog for
Absolutely.
a picture of a goose.
They've got templates in place for you to just swap those photos, swap that content around whenever you need. Nothing for you to install or patch or upgrade, but they are there for you 24/7 with some customer support. If you run into any issues swapping that dog with that goose, they have got your back on that.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody does.
Yeah. Hey, keep dreaming, but make it a reality with a website from Squarespace.
Will do.
Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com, offer code BOMBCAST.
There's so much news this week. I don't even know where to start.
Stuff's
man.
popping off.
Let's start at the beginning.
Start at the top.
Start at the top.
Top stories.
The top story is kind of a non-story.
Great. All right.
All right.
But it
going
allows
well.
me. But it allows me to say the words PlayStation 5.
Ah,
So here
that's
we
big
are.
news.
Did you guys
If it
see
bleeds,
this?
it leads.
Yes, exactly.
And it's the bleeding edge of technology
That's right.
here coming
Well,
from Sony.
Kotaku man on the street, Jason Schreier, has shot this PlayStation 5 report full of holes.
He has an office.
So I guess
though, right?
it is bleeding.
I think he works in an office.
Yes.
Oh,
Or a
really?
home
But he's-
office.
but he's
I don't-
out
I
there.
don't
I thought he
know-
was
I don't
out
know
there
how
on
they
the street,
operate
though.
out there
He's
all
out there.
the time.
He's hitting the pavement, going to where the news is.
right.
Oh, okay.
Hot dog carts, shadowy contacts.
Yes. So yeah, this a couple of weeks ago, this site called Semi Accurate ran a story. Yeah. Let's just get that part over with.
all right.
Apparently, they have gotten some tech stories right in the past.
Some of it.
Some early stuff, but they ran a story saying, "Hey, PS5 development kits are out to developers. It might come out this year, or next year, if not." You couldn't see the specs that they said that the PlayStation 5 would have because it was behind a $1,000 paywall.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Like $1,000 annual subscription gets you their full article.
A lot of tech journals and bigger things like that will charge that type of enterprise rate.
That kind of money?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
B2B type stuff will get pricey fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have we considered raising our premium rates to that?
Absolutely.
$1,000 an article.
I'll tell you what the new Xbox looks like if you give us $1,000.
If you're a corporation,
so this
Premium
info might be accurate, not necessarily now, but like in a year,
like maybe 2 years. Check back from like in like 2 years.
That's
might
when it'll be accurate. Okay.
Yeah. The ridiculous part of this was that they said, "Hey, it's shipping in 2019 or maybe 2018." It's like
that's when the dev kits are shipping. Developers.
Anyway, yeah. So
they were saying the dev kits were out.
Yeah, they were saying games were well underway and that the console would be out this year or next year. Anyway, Schreier says that he spoke to, quote, dozens of game developers across a variety of disciplines and studios.
All out on the street.
Of those, 2 people said they were directly familiar with plans for Sony's new console. Those 2 people both told me that the next PlayStation is unlikely to release in 2019, let alone 2018.
Cool.
Yeah,
I got some time.
It's a pretty preposterous idea.
Yeah.
When you like even just like the logic of it, of like when you see where Sony is at right now and what they're selling right now, and that they've hit that sweet spot again in terms of just like, hey, the consoles are out there, a lot of people own them. Let's just sit back and make money for a year or two before we try to trick people into buying something else.
Sell a lot of games, and they keep making pretty good games for it. So that helps.
It's the leading platform. Like they don't have a lot of reasons to ship a console this fucking year.
Yeah,
like that's
even next year would be faster than
I don't need to charge you $1,000 to tell you that that's maybe not like the logic doesn't necessarily back that up.
Even if they shipped holiday next year, that's only 6 years since the PS4 came out, and the PS3 was out for 7 years before. And the PS3 was nowhere near the success that the PS4 is.
I think we talked about it, over the last like month or two, just like the thought exercise of like, hey, when do you think they do this? And I think 2020 is like
that's what this
logically
the
earliest that it would make sense.
Absolutely. But then now you've got these half-step consoles, which might muddy that even more.
So that's why I say 2020, because I think by then the people that like double dipped on this ecosystem by buying a Pro will have felt like they have gotten enough out of it to where you could do something else.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And that I think 2020 is the earliest that the market can like bear that,
that would
without
be,
a lot of ill will.
Yeah, that would be 4 years of the Pro being on the market. Like,
that feels acceptable.
Okay.
In a world where there's a new phone every year.
Yes.
Like that's like the bridging the gap between those two concepts.
We gotta develop a better aftermarket pipeline for old consoles.
Yeah.
Like my original PS4 is still sitting in the closet. Like if this is how things are gonna go, I can't.
But also, I've got 5 iPhones in a drawer somewhere too. So
console is big though.
All right, fair enough.
I don't want.
The Xbox One is really great at playing DVDs and Blu-rays on the other TVs in your home if you happen to have some.
Yeah.
The 2 TVs that are not used for gaming in my house very often.
Sure.
Those extra consoles come into play right there.
I only have 1 TV.
Get some more. What are you doing?
Yeah.
TVs are cheap.
Yeah.
Go get them.
That's kind of the,
Yeah, so I guess
the top and bottom of this story is, hey, this report, as far as we can tell, is completely not accurate.
Seems as such.
And we don't know what the specs are because they're behind a paywall. But I think that the one little tidbit of this story was that it was likely to be a hard break in terms of games developed for the PlayStation 5 would run on the PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, totally.
And not like the Pro was, where
like it's almost weird to me that they even felt like they had to spell that out, because like I don't understand what else it could be.
Well, what it could be is another half step up. That,
but
I would okay. So here's
But then you can't call it a PlayStation 5 at that point. That's insane.
You can call it whatever the fuck you want.
You can, but that would be completely insane.
They call the iPhone 6. That still runs shit. Like it's at some point Like that's the thing that has to change. And yeah, maybe we do get to a point where the numbers get dropped, but the numbers are big marketing things. So you do still have a business reason to call something a PlayStation 5 someday.
Right.
But yeah, and you probably do need to have a hard delineation where you can say like, hey, new games going forward require this as the base model. And when the PS5 Pro comes out, you will know that is still going to run this stuff.
Right.
Also, I would also assume that all this stuff is going to run PS4 stuff.
It effing better.
Like, yeah, we're at a point with the architecture stuff these days that like unless there's some fucking hot new shit that lets them make quantum ass games,
right?
Fucking, and that breaks all backwards compatibility. Like they would have to present a very strong case for why they would have to break backwards compatibility.
Unless the PS5 has some kind of holographic cube inside of it that's running off.
There are cases that can sell you those games again.
That's the fear. That is totally the fear. Is like, oh, they probably made a decent amount of money on Last of Us Remastered.
That's the thing, is they'll do both, because there will be people who, like if you look at what Microsoft is doing,
right?
Like they're adding games to their backwards compatibility program and then also saying, hey, you can fucking buy those digitally now if you want.
But if you have them, they run. That's the key difference.
Right. If you have them, they run. If you have the discs, they run.
You can't put a Last of Us PS3 disc in a PS4 and have it let you play that new version.
Yeah. But I feel like that now I think is the baseline expectation going forward.
Totally.
Is that should be the experience. I think that's the
like
thing Microsoft...
I feel like it's the complete opposite. I feel like backwards compatibility, at least from PlayStation side, like is...
That's the thing. But that's the thing. I think they are fucking it up.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Microsoft has set the standard on that side where it's like, this is how it should be. The game should work. And the architectures are now like lining up in a way to where
they lost the tech excuse.
They lost the excuse of like, hey, the cell processor is hard.
Right. Well, assuming the next thing is x86 based, but of course it will. Like, what else would it be?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, unless they've found a magic cube running on Stanley's Stolen Blood or something to like play video games on.
technology.
Yeah. Then I don't know what they're going to use. Also, I'm not an expert. So maybe there was something else. But
you know what? This was like kind of almost an afterthought story, but I'm just going to skip to that real fast because it totally ties into this discussion. Let's see. So Microsoft announced a handful of new 360 games that are now going to have 4K upgrades. Red Dead Redemption, Gears of War 2, Portal 2, Darksiders.
Are those
Star Wars The Force Unleashed?
Those are out now?
Sonic Generations, anyone?
Hell
yeah.
The good Sonic.
Sonic Generations in free 4K. So yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like,
because you want to see Sonic and that girl kiss.
Thank you, Jeff.
In the highest resolution possible. But that's a pre-rendered cutscene, isn't it? So that's not going to look...
Ooh, yeah.
It's going to look grungy.
I'll only do that if I can wear a VR headset while
All right,
I watch.
I can set you up.
That cutscene is premium. But, like, look at this. I mean, like, Red Dead ran at 720p on the 360 with frame rate problems. Like, they now have it running super perfectly smooth at 4K for free.
Yeah.
Like, that is better than some of these, like, paid upgrades.
And like, granted, that's service that they're providing because they need to find an area that Sony isn't hitting. And, like, they've targeted a really good area.
Everybody knows why they're doing it, but they're
also,
still doing it.
It's fucking rad.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, and people seem to be, like, this is, it's just anecdotal looking at forum chatter, but people seem... like incredibly positive about feeling like they are getting some benefit from this.
And, it's like, especially you look at a company like EA that can't be bothered to like make good on its back catalog.
Yeah.
At least you can say like, hey, if you still have your copy of SSX3, it'll work.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, in addition to all these 4K enhancements for these big 360 games, they have a bunch of Xbox original games coming, starting today. Blinks.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fucking you can play Blinks on.
Here's my two things. A, fuck Blinks. It's not a good game.
Yeah.
B,
but
that's great.
It's
that
pretty
someone can decide today, like, I'm gonna go buy a digital copy of Blinks that runs on this Xbox One. Fuck it, because why not?
Or maybe you have a 15-year-old disc in your closet and you can just put it in your Xbox One X and play it.
Maybe.
Breakdown, which I am going to totally buy a copy of because Breakdown is cool. Conquer Live and Reloaded.
Okay.
The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Hunter the Reckoning.
Oh, whoa.
Jade Empire.
Okay.
Ooh. Sure, yeah.
Panzer Dragoon Orta.
Yeah.
SSX 3.
Yeah.
Next week, oh god, I actually didn't realize it's a bunch of THQ stuff next week. Destroy All Humans, Full Spectrum Warrior, Mercenaries.
All right, yeah.
That's cool.
Mercenaries is a good game.
Yeah, MX Unleashed, Panzer Elite Action, And then a whole bunch of Star Wars games: Battlefront, Battlefront 2, Jedi Academy, Jedi Starfighter, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and Republic Commando, which is an awesome game.
I want to play some Jedi Academy.
Yeah. Finally.
But yeah, like they are really making a case for why this is actually a feature people care about and is valuable.
Yeah, I wonder like what the numbers are on that. But I think the only time we've ever really seen any indication as to how well it's doing was when Black Ops 2 was made backwards compatible. It showed up in NPD numbers that month.
Wow.
Which that's it's an extreme case.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think that's valuable work. That anything that's going to let you keep playing your games in an easier way and carry that progress forward and stay in this ecosystem and all this other stuff. I think there's value to that.
And also like just Sony got, Sony started this generation behind. Like they, 360 was seen as dominant last generation. Look how much mileage Sony got out of goodwill at the beginning of this thing. It's like with the game sharing stuff,
right? Yeah,
and the lower price and higher power and like all that stuff. Like they made a case for like, here is the value we are offering.
And
you.
the Xbox One simultaneously was getting shit on for
that's
always.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They capitalized because the competition was arrogant and like not delivering value. So they swooped in and they were like, hey, ours is cheaper and does more.
Right.
Like
now
the choice is clear. So yeah, like I think it would be seen as not like, it's not a good hearts and minds move to come out next generation and say like, yeah, back catalog not going to make it over.
All right. Now
when Microsoft is doing what they're doing.
Now that Xbox has gone to 1 and broken its number convention. Well, I guess 360 already kind of broke it.
Yeah.
What is the next Xbox?
I'm going to always say the next Xbox should just be called Xbox because they just need to just get away from that stuff.
Well, especially
and they
now.
can reuse that Usher stuff too.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you would call like I don't even think PlayStation 5 is like a great name.
Not really.
When I think about like where we're at with consoles.
Well, I felt the same way about PS4 and they did it anyway. So.
Just call it the PSX.
Well, they already that was the DVR. Yeah, I don't know. There's power in the number, right? For marketing purposes. Like I see why Sony would theoretically call something a PlayStation 5, but also we're talking about a rumor of a rumor of a rumor.
Yeah.
So the idea that they're developing something called the PS5, maybe that's a little far-fetched right now. Because who knows what they'll actually call it when it comes out.
Sure. We thought PS4 was going to be the one where they dropped the number and came up with something wacky.
Yeah.
And it didn't come to pass.
Orbis.
Yeah, Orbis.
Durango.
That just turned out to be the code name. Like, think about it, though. If they announce a PS5 and I mean, whatever, this is super pie in the sky, but if they start doing the work that Microsoft is doing to get previous generations of games up and running on that thing.
There's quite a legacy on the PlayStation hardware.
Yeah, dude.
If they tap into it in a like a real way and not in a we're gonna only sell you these versions of these games.
Right.
If they actually do the real work.
Maybe it'll never happen because you're right. They do sell a lot of those. Like I just bought fucking my 4th copy of Jak and Daxter. I think like they do sell a lot. Of that
stop
stuff.
doing that.
Yeah, I should. Probably.
That one's on you.
Yeah,
that game's cool. But
imagine you could buy like Final Fantasy VII again.
Yeah, right.
Sure. Let me get right.
Hey, what happened to that remake of that?
Well, there was that story a few months ago that they were hiring a lot of like core positions for that team.
Okay,
that implied maybe it was still fairly early.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they sell enough PS1 and PS2 games that they would not go that far. But like,
the thing is, I think you get to do both.
Maybe
you get to have it both ways.
Like
with
Microsoft
that, where it's
does,
like because all those games they're not just saying, hey, put any game in here and it will work. They're saying, put in a game that we have done the licensing rights to be able to sell again. And if you happen to have the disc, that's another way for you to play it. Like, this is really just them doing the work to sell these games again digitally.
Because plenty of people don't still have their discs or never did or whatever.
Yeah, so it's really kind of just letting them have it both ways.
Like the hearts and minds, like the kind of just positive impression that sort of thing would convey if they came out of the gate and said like, hey, most of the PS1 and PS2 games you have, if you put them in this console, they will play.
If they went all the way with it and it was like, hey, just put the disc in and it will work because it's just a full emulation of this stuff, like that'd be fucking cool.
It would be super cool.
Like I think that's even like above and beyond what Microsoft is doing right now because they're obviously they're doing it, in conjunction with this digital business.
But again, there are licensing rights and other
Yeah.
hidden issues that might prevent.
I still have trouble
Some of this
calling
stuff.
this like backwards compatibility because it's not a full on just put a disc in.
Yeah.
You got to wait until they curate stuff.
Right.
And there's some stuff that they'll likely never be able to curate
Yeah.
because of the way the licenses and the stuff is gone.
But even so, you're absolutely right that Microsoft is doing a much better job with resurfacing these.
Like I own something like, I'd have to go look, but with the way they keep adding games that I bought digitally before, like it's suddenly like you go look at that list of like, here's all the games you have licenses to on the Xbox One, and it's like fucking 500 things all of a sudden. Like, Jesus.
And like half of those are 360 games now.
And like the multiplayer works and stuff. It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
It's
Everything works.
Yeah.
Like the screenshots and video recording, like anything that works on native games.
If you go back to the original Xbox stuff, the online stuff isn't there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
they
they did not resurrect original Xbox Live
gotcha.
for any of this
That
stuff.
one.
But 360 stuff.
Yeah, 360 stuff's still there.
Yep. God, it seems insane that we're even having this conversation because a major console just shipped like 3 months ago, 4 months.
What? Oh,
One X.
Yeah, the One X.
Okay, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
yes.
thing is brand new, and people are talking about the next generation.
I'm not.
I don't.
I refuse.
Yep.
I'm good for a couple more years easily.
I feel like
Seriously.
when they shipped the X, like there was a lot of talk out of the gate about like, man, these numbers are bigger than we thought that they were, and we're really happy with the launch sales. And I feel like there has not been any follow up in terms of momentum and like, hey, Xbox is killing it. Instead, it was like Sea of Thieves came out and people were like, ugh.
Yeah. I feel like I see an awful lot of like pretty good deals on the Xbox One X these days.
Yeah, like I inadvertently like started looking at like Facebook Marketplace and some of these other like, hey, sell your old shit. And you can find you some Xbox One X's.
Sure.
Sure.
And I
find a lot of good shit on that Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of them out there for $400. I see them with free controllers and free games. Like seems like you can get one.
I saw somebody selling hard-boiled eggs. Just $1 an
Okay,
egg. You buy
okay.
them on the Facebook Marketplace.
All right.
Great. Yeah.
All right.
Some people don't know how to boil eggs right.
Seriously.
Does that
Are
come
you
with-
going to buy eggs from a stranger that you met on Facebook?
I buy chorizo from a stranger.
Does those eggs come with white glove service? Are they going to bring it to you? Are they going to peel it for you?
They're going to peel it, and they have to feed it to you.
Like, do I have to meet them in a parking lot for this stuff? Is it because like I've seen tamales for sale on
Yeah.
Facebook, and I was like, man, I could go for some tamales. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
a street
probably
vendor
like a
with
park.
tamales, I would buy that. I don't care.
Street vendor with hard-boiled eggs?
That I don't know. Eggs can go bad quick.
Anything
Tamales
can
can't
go
go
bad
bad.
if you tamales
Yeah.
are with this lone exception. Tamales cannot physically go bad.
Right. I have one from 5 years ago.
Yeah. As long as you buy it after 1 a.m.
Yes.
It is an infinite tamale.
Speaking of Sea of Thieves, they put out a big content plan for the next few months. Remember
How
that game?
big?
Would you like a new ship?
No.
I mean, there's only 2 of them. It's like 50% more ship.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a new ship. Some new areas on the map are gonna open up.
What do you do
What's
there?
there?
This thing is incredibly vague.
Yeah.
Like they give the names of
So
these
is
events and
Sea of
expansions that are
Thieves.
going to happen, and they otherwise.
To me, I think
there's
key
a lack
thing-
of specificity in this messaging that is kind of
I feel-
eye-opening.
The thing I have latched onto reading this thing over is the word event.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no.
when I think about Sea of Thieves, I think about a game in need of like fundamental expansion and
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
And the way that they are talking about, like, oh, we've got this event coming with a new faction to fight, and we've got this event coming with this. I'm like, no, I don't want time limited stuff. Like, I want you to flesh out the thing and make it a full package because it doesn't feel like that right now.
Well, so it sounds like they have like they refer to a weekly events program, but
Okay.
then they also talk about content updates, and I think those content updates are permanent,
Okay.
from what I can tell. Starting in May, they're putting out a content update called The Hungering Deep. This will bring with it a new AI threat to the world. Crews will have to work together to discover and defeat this threat as part of a unique event. We will also be introducing
Part of a unique event.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, we'll also be introducing a number of new mechanics. There will be unique rewards.
Oh yeah.
But then they go on to talk about their weekly events where there will be new mechanics and weekly events and rewards. Like, that's what I mean. Like, this whole thing is full of instances of them just saying, like,
We're putting
Generic-
stuff in the game. Like, what kind of stuff?
generic
you
like,
know.
Things.
references to events, rewards, mechanics, challenges, AI. Like, they don't really go into any detail.
honestly,
on much of any of those.
New event.
that like in a game like that sounds kind of appealing. Events
New
sound appealing
mechanics,
to me.
Ben.
Yeah.
New mechanics.
It's less about that and more about like, okay, so far the only positive experiences I've heard about this game are me and my friends were doing this shit and another crew came along and you know, blah blah blah.
They use their new mechanics on you.
But if like there's a new event, like, you know, everyone go to this place, that seems like that sets up an opportunity for a lot of shenanigans, a lot of ships interfering
If
with
it
each
focuses
other.
players in a location, that
Yeah,
then
I think that's smart.
helps create that situation.
I don't think it makes the game better overall, but it provides at least
Yes.
some opportunities
That's
for
totally
fun.
valid.
I think for me it's the difference between like these all sound like things that like the existing player base of Sea of Thieves would find appealing,
Yes.
and not things that like as someone who like really wanted to like Sea of Thieves but found it to be just too barren. None of this seems like it is filling in those gaps in a or it's too vague to know maybe.
Yeah,
but,
that's for me. I
But
just
like
need
when I
more detail.
look at the detail that is there, I go like,
You try and parse out what
with what this sounds like, I still don't think this is going to be the thing that makes me play more Sea of Thieves.
right.
They say in the summer months we'll debut 2 more content updates with Cursed Sails, which will include a new ship type, and Forsaken Shores, which will introduce players to a perilous new part of the world.
It's
Similarly to the
an
Hungering
ocean.
Deep,
Oh,
both of these updates will also include new gameplay mechanics for players, new AI threats to challenge, and new unique rewards to claim. Like, again, just no.
but like, will
indication
those
of what
unique
those are.
rewards have
they just-
gameplay relevant differences,
Yeah.
or is it just a skin for my
Yes.
hat?
Are
You
those
know,
just
like
more
what-
new skins for the same items already in the game? Like,
Yeah.
that's not enough if that's what it is. Who knows? They do mention that that they've been listening to a lot of feedback. They say based on feedback since launch, we have changed the priorities for pets and ship captaincy, which we had previously announced as things we would look to add in the few months after launch. These are now on the back burner. So basically, they are taking features they thought they were going to launch early and basically tabling some of those.
They
Is that
ran,
with the-
they ran so
They
many
heard my
betas
feedback.
for
Yeah.
so long,
Yeah.
and so many people were able to play this game prior to release that I'm like, how is that something they have to announce now? Like, how is that that seems like crazy to me that they hadn't already heard this feedback prior to launch and thought like, oh, we might be walking into a problem.
I have to imagine everybody else was saying the same thing we were, right? Which is just, I can't wait to see what else is in here. Like,
Yeah.
nobody
But, like, I
nobody
feel-
was complaining because nobody knew for sure
I
that
guess,
that's all there was.
but I guess like if you were the developers of that game, well, fuck, I don't know. But
They probably had,
but I
like,
feel
testing-
like if the feedback is, I can't wait to see what else is in your game, and you're staring at it going like, that's well, it's
Hey
more,
man,
it's
they,
more islands.
they were holding 2 other kinds of skeletons back
dude,
and snakes. I want to like Sea of Thieves so much.
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and the teamwork stuff is neat.
Yeah, and hearing people talk about the experiences they've had in multiplayer and like that sort of hijinks is like, it's cool. Like that's probably not going to be a thing that I'm gonna just invest the time in to see, but I'm totally into the idea of games doing that.
You know what's fucked up this whole time we were talking about Sea of Thieves? I was thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, I'll pop back in and check that out. And I remember it's not a free game that I can just play at any time. It's not free.
Right? No, that's
Unless you got
that's
the Game
It's a
Pass.
$60 game.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
my 2-week trial of Game Pass is
gotcha.
over.
okay then.
I'm gonna keep mine running. I think.
Man, it feels like May would have been the month to save that trial for, because that's when they're dropping more content in this game, and State of Decay 2 comes out.
Cool.
Oh,
If you haven't used your trial yet, I would hold off.
I finally got an Xbox One, so maybe I'll check out that.
You could have bought mine. I sold it though.
I got it for free.
Oh, okay. I was not charging free.
good work.
All right. Jason Schreier again
On the street.
with a super deep dive into the making of Mafia 3 and then all the stuff that has gone on at Hangar 18.
What's going on?
I'm sorry, Hangar 13. I
Yeah.
always get that mixed up.
You like Megadeth? I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's everything that's going on in Hangar 18.
That's right. Yeah, like it's an incredibly long, in-depth piece that is mostly about like a lot of the challenges they ran into, things that happened during development and after development. They talk about a concept for Mafia 4 that was developed there that would be set in Vegas that was scrapped pretty quickly. They then concepted a pretty cool sounding spy game that would have been set in East Berlin, like in like the late period of the Soviet Union.
Saboteur 2.
Kind of like that.
Sure.
That sounds like a neat idea. Anyway, things sound iffy at that studio, but buried in this story is the bombshell that, hey, there's a studio right next door making a new Bioshock.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Which is not even the focus of this. That's kind of almost an afterthought in here. They say that it is codenamed Parkside. It's such a long story. I'm trying to find that part.
So am I right in remembering Ken Levine's no longer
Yes.
involved?
Yeah, no, he's
Actually, apparently this is not news, but I just saw yesterday they have a new name for his studio.
yes.
It's a
Oh,
Ghost
really?
something. What is it? Ghost something games. I forget.
Kick.
I forget.
They have a
Ghost
webpage.
Punch.
Like there is a name. It's not irrational anymore. Like they,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, he went off to write a screenplay for a film, I believe, and then also was working
Was
on
it Logan's Run?
Yes, that's the one.
And I think they said out of the gate like his new studio was going to focus on small projects, small team based stuff.
Yeah. So he's been off
Biotickle.
doing that stuff.
Yeah. So this is weird because they're like this story frames this in the context of the strife at Hangar 13 and how Bioshock is being made in this very top secret environment where the people next door won't tell them what they're working on,
Yeah.
and like employees that are kind of frustrated at Hangar 13 wish they were working on that or like looked into moving over to it. Not much detail other than that like this sounds like some big top secret 2K Skunkworks project.
Yeah. We'll see
To
how it
get a-
goes.
to
I
get a
don't
new
know.
Bioshock
I
off the ground.
feel like 2K's stuff. Like, man, I'm trying to think about like their recent history of like non-sports
Yeah.
games.
I don't feel like they've had a lot of marquee 2K branded stuff.
like
since
Mafia
3.
like Mafia 3 was kind of like all. Was that all they had last year?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years
That
ago.
was
Shit,
2016.
man. What have they shipped
Yeah.
since?
I don't-
XCOM. That's them. XCOM 2 is
I
a
think
2K joint.
Yeah, XCOM 2 was last year, wasn't it?
But for Axis, it's kind of a little bit of a separate thing.
Oh, and Civ 6. I mean,
Oh, right.
Oh,
Civ.
sure.
yeah,
of
they've got
course.
stuff going
Yeah.
on. But
But in terms of like that kind of, the stuff that, I think about like Mafia, like that XCOM,
Bureau?
the Bureau.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, right.
That thing was in development for a long time. Wasn't
Mhm.
it? Was that the game that they formed Hangar 13 to make, or was that the
Maybe.
game that like caused them to shed a bunch of people and then make Hangar
I'm not
13?
actually sure because they also had 2K Marin at one point who made
Yeah.
Bioshock 2.
Right.
I think they might have, some part of that might have been involved.
Which I think like they had some layoff.
Like this story makes reference to multiple rounds of layoffs at
Right.
Hangar 13, some of which were not reported in the press.
Yes,
So like
yeah.
they have lost, and they say like a ton of the leads for Mafia 3 have moved on
hmm
at this point. So like pretty significant personnel changes. And hey, maybe new Bioshock game.
I guess it makes sense. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Like it's been a while that I think if they had immediately said, "Hey, we're shutting down Irrational and now we're making a new Bioshock game," I think the reaction would not have been too strong. But I think as time has gone on and the people's memories of Bioshock Infinite going much more negative as time has gone on, weirdly enough, I actually think that kind of sets the table for a new Bioshock game.
For people to be more receptive to one
Yes.
from a different team.
Yeah.
With how Bioshock Infinite ended, it's weird thinking about another Bioshock.
Well, that's the
Infinite
thing.
Bioshock. Now you can make
Bioshocks. Like,
Bioshock
that
games
was,
forever.
That was the thing, is they blew up all of. They found a way to both make it so you could make anything a Bioshock game, or make it so any Bioshock game you make will be meaningless.
Yeah.
Which is like the ultimate, like, it's how I map onto it, but it's the ultimate like creator at the end going, "No, I'm killing my thing before you do."
I did totally feel the same way.
Yeah.
I felt like
That was an interesting
Really?
idea. Did you guys play any of the DLC for Infinite?
No.
It was set in Rapture, but starring the characters
Oh,
of Infinite.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was
So
like
it was
the day
like
before
Booker and Elizabeth in
the
Rapture.
stuff goes down.
Well, yeah,
right?
Well, it was
So-
like once you open up the idea that there are infinite Bioshocks, then
Yeah.
you can kind
can
of
play
retell
around.
that story.
Yeah, which is a neat idea. Like I think Booker is like Private Eye. And
Yeah.
she's kind of a femme fatale sort
yeah,
of
yeah, I
thing.
remember that.
But also, yeah, that's the other interesting thing is that it's set in Rapture before everything went to shit. I always meant to play through that thing. I played the first hour or two, and it was neat
That
seeing
sounds
that
really
imagery.
interesting. Shit.
So I don't know what direction they would take.
I would be
a new
curious
one.
to see what a new team at this point, like, what do you keep? What do you think what do you think the core of Bioshock is?
A man,
Powers,
a
powers in this hand, guns in this
A
hand.
man,
A
a
man, a
lighthouse,
lighthouse.
city.
Yeah, sure, but yeah, but that's like the
Or
serv-
do you? Maybe you don't. I don't know.
no lighthouse.
Right.
At the end, the reveal
There's
is
always a lighthouse.
you
Jeff.
are the lighthouse. It pans out from the first-person view, and you've been a lighthouse this whole
What if
time.
the whole game just takes place in a lighthouse?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the idea of a Ken Levine-less Bioshock is more interesting now than it was with 2 because they were still beholden to all the Rapture setting.
Right.
Like the idea of like, oh, now you're the big daddy.
And
felt
honestly,
a
like
little trite.
I feel like there was a lot of murky shit going around when Bioshock 2 was getting announced and stuff, where it was like, the creators of Bioshock are not on board with this thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, that's a bummer.
But also at the same time that Infinite's pedigree has fallen over time, I feel like
Yeah.
Bioshock 2's has risen. Like I feel like
Yeah, we
I see
talked
more
about that
people
during
saying
GDC,
like,
yeah.
Bioshock 2 is a better game than a lot of people gave it credit for.
I like it way more than 1.
The multiplayer was better than it had any right to be,
Yeah.
which is not to
Yeah.
say
You
it's
can
like
say
great.
This
but-
guy for beta testing that
Oh,
multiplayer.
nice work.
Yeah, good job. Also, you know how I feel about Minerva's Den.
You think it's terrible?
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
I forget.
It's a fine piece of DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now would potentially be an interesting time for that to come back
Hmm.
in some way, if they have a good idea for it.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But that's all. If you've got a great idea for a thing, I would like to see
But
it.
particularly for this,
Yeah.
what I mean is that
Right.
like
No, you're right.
The
Controversial
obvious-
statement, Jeff.
what
Yeah.
I mean is it can't be the obvious idea. Like
Yes.
most things don't end the way that Bioshock Infinite did with a prescription for like an endless sequels.
Right.
So the question is, do they follow that formula or do they
Or
subvert it?
like that's the hard thing. Like, how do you in the wake of that? How do you make a Bioshock game that feels like it has like depth and meaning?
Yeah.
and that it has some kind of permanency.
It needs some kind of
or-
purpose beyond, hey, we filled in those. We
Exactly.
did
They
we did the
yeah.
Mad Libs at the end of
Right.
Infinite, and here's another game. Like
They
that's
either
what
need
I mean.
to address that ending, like not by name or whatever, but that idea that the ending sets up like right away, like in the premise for the game, or like that is like I feel like you can't not acknowledge that.
Right.
You have to like, you know, it's
almost like maybe because I'm playing Far Cry 5 right now, it's almost like the pitfall that series has fallen into, where they feel like they have to have like the charismatic, unhinged, cultish bad guy,
Yeah.
and they have to have X, Y, and Z defining those games. And like 5, I feel like is the one where like, all right, enough of this particular formula.
I think 5 is the thing with 5 is like you see a lot of opportunities throughout 5 where they could break further
Right,
away from that
right.
formula, and they don't.
Right.
And they double down on some of the worst parts of it
Right.
along the way.
Right. So I sincerely hope they are not just creating another like
Yeah.
ideologically driven like utopian project
Yeah,
for
and
a
it-
new Bioshock game.
and
like,
it kind of at the-
maybe they need to get away from that.
And if at the end of it they don't address like any of the Bioshock Infinite stuff, it's very easy for a player to write the whole thing off. It's just like, that's another pocket universe. Guess it doesn't matter. Which is the really nasty thing that Bioshock Infinite does.
But if they tell a good enough story, like it doesn't
I
matter.
mean, it could, yeah.
I guess
sure,
you're right.
Sure.
oh, remember in that first trailer when he goes outside the movie theater and says
Man.
what revenge
It says Revenge of the Jedi.
Revenge of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And it was just
God,
like,
it could have been.
Yeah, like I remember we sat in the theater at E3 watching that thing and just going like, "What the fuck is this game?"
Yeah.
yeah. That was probably
was a
one
good
of
reveal.
my favorite video game
That
trailers.
was a good reveal
Yeah.
for sure. That was right up there with like the first Assassin's Creed getting all weird and cyber at the end.
Yeah,
Remember
sure,
that?
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Like, hey, I feel like I wonder if you can still do that. Like, can you still
Yeah,
have
I
the
don't know.
reveal trailer of just like, hey, there's more to this than there seems?
Yeah.
Because now I think everyone will just be like, yeah, of course there fucking is.
There better be.
Yeah, there fucking damn well better be.
Yeah.
Now tell me about the multiplayer. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see that at E3.
100 lighthouses jump out.
You think we see a new Bioshock at E3? I don't know.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah. If this story is still talking about it in such a skunkworksy kind of way,
They say, in fact, like they get into almost the business aspect of development a little bit and say like, hey, that they are keeping the team small intentionally until
Right.
they are sure they have a good idea, and then they're going to run with it.
yeah, that
It
sounds a
like
little more
direct
tentative than something you would announce here.
Also, it sounds like a direct response to the fact that Infinite took like 6 years. I mean, thing was like
Right.
notoriously
Yeah.
development heavy.
I'm sure they love getting their spot blown up like that.
Also, if 2K has Borderlands 3
Right.
ready to go,
Right, of course.
that would be
Yeah.
their big thing if that's going to happen.
Also, at some point, I think it goes both ways where getting your spot blown up like that,
Lights a
like,
fire under you.
it also it reveals to the public that you're working on a thing and gets them clamoring for it in a way that makes it easier to get greenlit.
Yeah, but it can also
sure.
build expectation up.
Yeah, no, it cuts both ways, but I've definitely known people who were on projects where they're like, we've been working on this for a long time, and we feel like it get killed any day.
Yeah.
And then the project leaks, and there's enough excitement that they can go like, oh, well, at least there's evidence that I worked on this, even if it does get killed. But now we at least have like some amount of fervor that we can point at and be like, see,
Yeah, because
you got to give us the rest of the money.
Imagine if it was them and like the universal response was like, oh God, not another Bioshock.
Right. Yeah. Then you'd be like, oh no. Well,
in this case, it's kind of positive. It's like I wouldn't have thought I would care about a new Bioshock until the idea was floated. And I was like, okay, yeah, man, that might be cool. Like, sure, give it a shot. All right. Biggest story of the week. Billy Mitchell delisted from Twin Galaxies.
Yeah.
Across the board.
That's crazy.
Every high score removed.
How many did he have?
And then, I don't know the full number, but then the Guinness Book of World Records came right along after that and said, yep, his Donkey Kong and Pac-Man score is gone.
Like that means like officially, technically, he is no longer the first player to play a perfect game of Pac-Man.
Yeah, he is no longer perfect Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Retired
he
that
was
game
right to
tag.
give up that gamer tag.
Retire that game. Oh, did he give it up?
I don't know. He never logged in with it. It's like it had played like Pac-Man twice. And
Sure, that's a good gamer tag.
yeah,
I want it.
we all want it.
But yeah, like
That's crazy. Yeah, a lot of.
So this is in the wake of the stuff we talked about a while ago. Where
this was, I guess, this was basically just a ruling. It doesn't sound like there were any more developments in terms of evidence surfacing.
yeah, well, it was
Because they like suspended it.
Yeah.
And said
I think
they
they
were
were
investigating.
kind of reviewing it.
there was a separate Donkey Kong community with their own leaderboards, and they had stricken him from that, along with the revelation of just like, hey, these tapes are fishy. And then Twin Galaxies were like, we are going to spend some time looking at this shit. And then so this is the other shoe on that, where Twin Galaxies has come back and said like, yep, we're not going to sit here and say this was definitely MAME, but we are comfortable saying this is definitely not a real Donkey Kong machine.
Yeah.
So we are removing him from everything.
So he was submitting MAME footage, essentially. But people, he's played this game in public before.
I get.
He's
Well, I don't know.
pretty-
Like that's so. If
I
you
don't
go
know.
back to like King of Kong, like he was a little dodgy about like wanting to do that sort of stuff, and these tapes just kind of appeared. As just like, oh, here's this thing I did.
And then didn't he break into Steve Weeby's garage to see if Steve Weeby was using a legit cabinet? Wasn't that a plot point?
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I remember that.
And
I remember somebody breaking into somebody else's garage to look at their cabinet.
Look at the machine and make sure it was real. Like, it's a weird. It's every facet of this is strange because the only reason people care about this at all is because of Billy Mitchell and because of him
because
having
of his
like
hair.
a heelish persona.
Yeah.
You know, him playing this up and being the like rock star dick of the high score world is the only reason people cared about King of Kong. Which is the only reason people care about any of this classic high score stuff in a wide sense. I care about
So,
it, but
I feel like this ties right into the wrestling heel thing. Like the defense he gave at the time this first started going down was borderline nonsense.
right.
And he gave another statement over the weekend, which is maybe even worse.
Yeah, he's just like, you know something, brother. Let me tell you
yeah,
something.
totally.
He's like grabbing the ropes and shaking them.
It literally is just filling time on the mic.
Yeah.
With anything he
Adjusting
can.
his American flag tie while he sweats.
I have to read the statement. He gave it at
Well, you know something, Jace Hall, brother.
totally. This was at the Midwest Gaming Classic
MGC.
this past weekend.
Classic.
That's a great show, by the way. If you guys are ever in the Midwest.
Oh, you've been to it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Like
Number-
a lot of
number
stuff
of
for sale
times.
there and stuff.
Yeah,
or-
a lot of stuff for sale. Yeah,
That's the stuff that keeps making me think about like going to Portland or some of these other shows.
they have
So-
a really good museum. Anyway, sorry.
He gave this comment to Old School Gamer Magazine.
Which he is.
Bear in mind, he is on the advisory board of Old School Gamer Magazine. I've been asked to address things that are recently in the media. The fact of the matter is, now there's a true professional due diligence being done to investigate things that happened as far as 35 years ago, in a professional manner, not in a shock jock mentality designed to create hits. We will show that everything that has been done, everything was done professionally. According to the rules, according to the scoreboard, the integrity that was set up, not 2014 forward by the current regime who wants to reach back 35 years. Everything will be transparent. Everything will be available.
Everything.
I wish I had.
Couldn't have said it better
Make it all
myself.
known.
I wish I had it in my hands right now. I wish I could hand it to you, but it's taken a considerable amount of time. Witnesses, documents, everything will be made available to you. Nothing will be withheld. You absolutely have my commitment to that. We've been at this since 1982, and it's not going to stop now.
What is he
That's the
talking
statement.
about?
That's the statement he gave.
What does
defending
any of that mean?
Ben, Billy Mitchell is going to find the real killers.
And then he's gonna put out a book in a few years called "If I Fixed It."
If I were to tape myself playing
If I
Donkey Kong
named
on
it.
an emulator.
If it is not MAME, you cannot blame.
Pretty good.
All right.
So what if he comes out and he says, "Yeah, I use MAME, but I'm still really good at this game"?
I mean, that's well, I mean, he's banned because he cheated. Like
Yeah.
the thing you
Oh,
would
sure,
say is like,
yeah.
oh
You
well,
can't get reinstated.
like why can't he just sit down on a real machine and just
Sure.
like get it done if he is still
right.
who he says he is?
Like he may have just been wanted to save time.
To which I would say it was a long time ago. Maybe he's not. Maybe he doesn't have the skills anymore. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, he has been barred. It's not like he can just go submit new scores.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
So-
wow.
And again, I feel like the Donkey Kong thing is where all this started and what got most of the headlines, but it's that Pac-Man one for me because that was a first in the world, first of its kind.
Like that was the first time, like I feel like we knew who Billy Mitchell was for years before King of Kong because of the Pac-Man stuff.
Right. And also because a perfect game of Pac-Man is something that can only be done once. Like other people can do it, but it's the same thing. Like somebody has already done it. You're just replicating that.
Yeah.
So for them to officially say no, he didn't actually do that,
Yeah.
is kind of insane. Does that just mean whoever did it after that is now officially the?
If someone did, I assume someone else has done it.
Surely.
I guess I don't know, but we have to go
Wow.
look at the leaderboards and see who else has that score or if someone else
Man.
does. But yeah, it's
No asterisks, no nothing. He's just gone.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He fucking erased from history. Pretty wild. Serious business. This arcade high score stuff.
Seriously.
someone needs to take it seriously.
Yeah.
If I could hand you the evidence right now, all the papers, all the interviews, I would.
Yep.
But yeah, it's
The current regime doesn't want you to know.
That's right. I guess I don't know enough about Twin Galaxies anymore. Like I know it did change. Like Walter Day,
Yeah, he like stepped down,
and,
right?
like Jace Hall is now the owner of Twin Galaxies, I guess.
In a
Because of
weird-
course,
incredibly
that's
weird
what Jace Hall's
thing.
doing
Yeah,
now.
dude,
Who
That's
knows?
money
in its
man.
own
Yeah.
right.
Holy.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the process is like these days. Actually, I never knew what the process was like, so I'm hardly an expert on this stuff. But
Yeah.
I feel like the process is definitely, hey, you should be playing on a real machine. I was gonna say the ironic thing, but maybe not, is over the years MAME has only gotten more accurate, right? And I believe I saw one of the MAME developers commenting on this and saying like actually we render it perfectly now. Like the stuff that they looked at the footage and were able to tell, like the stage isn't drawing to screen the same way it does on a real cabinet. I think in the years since then, MAME has improved to where now it is doing it the right way. Because that's what they strive for, is that type of accuracy.
Right.
And that's part of why MAME is so fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. It's another twist. You start to wonder, like, could you do another documentary on this? Are the King of Kong people like fucking dusting off cameras going, oh shit, we got to get back out there? Or is someone else like documenting this blow by blow
I wonder.
in a way that we'll get to watch someday?
King is dead.
Yeah. Like Billy Mitchell is a fascinating character, but I also don't necessarily want to see a lot more out of him. I'm much more interested in the
Only if he like self implodes. Like
if
if he comes out there like completely conspiracy theorist and just I want to watch that. I want to watch that fire.
Oh boy. But no, like Steve Weeby's not even the number one Donkey Kong player in the world.
I think
now.
both of them were down in like the double digits at this point, right? Like a
like
ton of people surpassed
the
them.
Donkey Kong score right now is somewhere around 1.2 million. I believe it's a Robbie Wakeman or Wakeman. Wakeman, I think it is that holds it
For now,
for now.
he might be
It's fucking.
He might be a cheater
Who knows?
too.
Let's look at the tapes. Let's look at what's going on. Let's look at what's going on until I can be the number one Donkey Kong player in the world with 26,000 points. When we hit that level, I'm in.
By the way, I beat Billy Mitchell.
Nice
So did
work.
I.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
I've got
too.
a higher
Yeah.
score than him.
Yeah.
I didn't get to
Last
play,
Friday's
but
UPF.
Hey, your
tied.
officially submitted score of 0 is still higher than disqualified.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
That's fair.
Congratulations to all to everyone listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presuming you
Unless you
haven't,
haven't been banned.
Yeah, unless you haven't been banned for cheating from Twin Galaxies.
Congratulations to the entire world for your accomplishment.
Yeah, we all moved up a notch on the leaderboards.
We were definitely using arcade.
Yep.
Hardware,
on the show
for
last
sure.
week, that
Yeah.
was the realest.
Oh,
of arcade
yeah.
hardware.
The cabinet was sitting right there on the
the
desk.
most
Yeah.
stringent of practices.
Yep. That's right. Valve made a change on Steam where they have now flipped the contents of everyone's game library to private.
Good. I don't want you seeing what I'm
And-
playing.
Killed Steam Spy in the process.
Right. Yeah.
So
Which
why
is-
was
that was
this
always kind of
important?
Which part?
Killing Steam Spy. Like
Because
what
Steam-
I've seen a lot of developers be I've seen mixed reactions
Yeah,
on it.
Steam Spy was the best, not to say it was 100% accurate, but it was the closest thing you had to
Steam sales.
actual Steam sales data.
Okay.
Publicly
and being able
available.
to look at like what other games that you would be competing with might have sold on Steam, and being able to like figure out like what should I budget for? Like, is this game I'm making even going to find a market? Does it even have a chance at all, or am I doomed right away? Like, smaller developers were able to use that data in really meaningful ways.
At the same time, that data was also weaponized in this era of people, organizing hate brigades against developers that they like for non-gaming related reasons or whatever. I mean, it was put to ill use. Here and there.
Certainly.
But it, by and large, was a nice resource to have.
Right. And this effectively kills it. This seems like it was something, because there's a lot of like the GDPR stuff, like the privacy regulations that are coming down the pipe, and some of the changes that have been made around like, hey, data security and sort of stuff around the edges of that seem to be causing some people to make some changes on the internet.
I see.
And I suspect this would line up with that.
Are those tier U.S. government regulations?
I believe they're
heard
EU regulations.
Okay, I haven't heard about it.
I'd have to dig into it, but
Any
you
of that
see
stuff.
more and more companies like doing things.
Is this like a consumer level, like opt-in? Do we have to
No,
go
no,
in
it's
and-
a global thing.
Gotcha.
They just made it so
They flipped everybody over to private
Gotcha.
by default.
That's what it
and everyone existing, I think, got flipped to private also. So it's not like
That
you can
really
look
kills
at the
it. Okay.
existing users.
Yeah.
And yes, it really kills it.
yeah, like the maintainer of Steam Spy just flat out came out and said, "Yeah, this is done.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing to be done here. This thing is over." So yeah.
But then there are people who are like, actually, privacy matters, and
it's that
being
the
able
pri-
to
pri- that's always a good thing. Like giving people more control over that stuff is there's nothing wrong with that. It's
and this
just
is stuff that was in place before. Like the controls were there. I think the change is that they just flipped everybody
Yeah.
by default.
You guys don't need to know how many visual novels I play.
I already know.
You leave Steam
Yeah.
open on the computer
Yeah.
sometimes.
we just
I
assume
do.
all of them.
I see it in your eyes.
The Steam Spy guy was like weirdly, remarkably cool about it.
I mean,
Like he flat out said, "Yeah, I don't think they did this to kill Steam Spy. I think they did this
No.
for their own reasons. And
Right.
this was just a consequence of it."
it's the sort of thing, like that Steam Spy is built on the back of that data being available. And I think, if you're, if you're self-aware enough, like he seems to be, there's definitely like at any point this could all go away for no reason or for any reason. And at some point you kind of have to be accepting that your whole thing is built on the back of this like tentative thing,
Totally.
That was something like, similar, but not really exact. But when we were like scraping achievement data and stuff like that,
Oh, sure.
there was like, we had kind of a tacit, like Microsoft had a community developers program that we were a part of that did not include achievement data, but they understood why people wanted it. And they would kind of go like, if you're going to scrape, use this bot ID so we at least know what you're doing and how many resources you're using so that I can go to my boss and say, you need to allocate more servers for these people to do this thing. And so they were trying to build the case. And then I think most of them just left because it was never going to happen. But it doesn't matter because people get that achievement data. People
They do.
scrape it and it's not a problem.
They do, but
Like someone built an API, a third-party piggyback API on PSN that I assume still works, but like you could integrate that into whatever and scrape trophies if you wanted to. But you do that with the understanding that the minute they redesign their website, it's going to break unless someone fixes it and fixes the scraper. And you're like, oh, the scraper's down today. We got to fix this and do this. And like it's you build that with the knowledge that you're never going to be done building it.
guy with a pot belly and some sagging pants shows up to fix your scraper.
Exactly. Yeah.
Toolbox.
Here you got a problem with the scraper again.
Union guy.
All right, I'll take a look at it. Come on, let's go.
Um,
Shit, man, it's all gummed up down here.
you don't want to know what gets caught in the scraper.
It's all these achievements.
It's kind of a dodgy one, but whatever. Homebrew hacker types, or specifically one guy in particular, has added a save manager. It's not Geo. I think GeoHots works for Sony, right?
I don't know if he does anymore.
Or he
but-
did for a while,
yeah.
I think. I'm trying to find this guy. Bernardo Giordano is the name of the guy.
Oh, how convenient.
Uh,
It just happens to be Geo, huh?
Hmm.
Huh?
Follow the money.
Huh?
He's added a save manager to the Switch, a way to back up your saves
Oh,
from Switch to Like this story doesn't really go into a lot of detail about.
But only for like custom firmware.
They've got
Yeah,
screenshots.
Okay,
not
it's
something you could.
Oh,
not
totally.
something you could very easily do.
Not, like
Not
a
even-
commercially available.
not even that, because he didn't even release it. Like he's just making it.
Say,
Like,
hey, check out this cool thing I did.
but he says he put it together in like 2 weeks. So
it would be something that would be relatively easy for Nintendo to.
well, not
what
necessarily.
what he's
Who knows-
insinuating?
Who knows what
Yeah,
corners
that's
he
the
cut.
insinuation of like saying I built this thing in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yes, like
To do it right, it may take
Yeah.
It might break some other thing.
Right.
Like,
dozens of times longer.
Sure,
Like there are
sure.
securities concerns that Nintendo would have that he does not.
But
Like more to the point,
can
like
be
it just
done.
it proves that people want stuff like this.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
my mom had to send in her Switch and lost all of her Zelda
Oh,
save
no,
data.
I thought. I mean, well, I guess they do say like we'll try to preserve it, but there's a
Yep.
chance that it
She had
can't-
like easily
It's
over
messed
100
up.
hours.
that's so crappy.
I don't get it. Oh,
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
fix that shit.
Anyway, yeah, that, and if anything, like this leads people who wouldn't otherwise necessarily want to hack their console to start looking at stuff like that.
I mean, that was the whole reason people were jailbreaking their iPhones early
Right.
on. Was like, oh, I can set my own ringtones
Right.
and set like stuff that Apple hadn't developed yet, and it then eventually spurred Apple to build stuff out.
Yeah.
To now, I feel like we're at a point where there's not really a great reason to jailbreak your phone.
I don't even the last few people I knew that used to do it have given
Yeah.
it up. Yeah, you would hope Nintendo pays attention to stuff like this, and
Oh, I'm sure they do.
yes,
They've got some guys.
maybe think about doing it in
Ear
an
in the
official
ground.
way.
I'm sure they've got people working on that too.
I hope so.
I just who knows where it's on the priority list and
Yeah.
and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's clearly something it needs.
They do have that online service launching.
Sure. Yeah, you'd think that you would hope that hey, if I'm going to suddenly start paying you a fee for this console that doesn't like traditionally you don't have a bunch of great online experiences on your platforms.
Yeah.
Services would be a nice way to build that out.
Sure. I mean, if you're afraid of letting people put their saves on an SD card, what if you let them upload them to your server?
That said, if they put that service exclusively behind a paywall, that would be shitty.
Kinda. I mean, Sony locks stuff like that up behind Plus.
No.
There are there are
It's
totally
the-
aspects.
Well, there are
When you're-
aspects of
there-
it, but
yeah.
you can do it by default. It's
Yeah, you get more
you get
space.
more space
Yeah,
and
but I'm-
automatic.
But I'm
uploads.
talking about other online stuff. Like
Sure.
you can't get patches in rest mode if you're not Plus, stuff like that.
Mm.
Like there are some crappy
Oh, sure.
limitations there. Sega's making a mini Mega Drive.
I think they already made it.
Well, they have one
are.
on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about.
No, this is another At Games developed
Is it?
piece of hardware.
For sure?
All those things have been dog shit.
You're sure?
At Games had something on their Facebook page.
This is the thing they announced Saturday?
Yeah, they announced it for the Japanese market. Like this
Yeah.
is kind of already out in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it'll have a different game list or whatever. So, but the thing is, I guess like At Games was out there saying like, hey, we know that like we just got to get it done and do it right, and then you'll see, or you won't. I guess I don't know.
Okay. Okay. This story was originally reported as Sega was making its own mini Mega Drive.
I don't believe that's actually
that
the
was
case.
separate from that crappy At Games one.
From what I looked into, it sounded like this was just kind of another thing from them.
Okay.
And that stuff's been fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's less interesting.
Kill it.
But M2 is developing some new Sega Ages stuff for the Switch.
Ooh,
like
Yeah,
really?
I saw.
Alex Kidd and Phantasy Star. And,
Yeah. Oh man.
Gain Ground.
Sure. No, that's a good game.
Gain Ground's all right.
Yeah.
No, you're not a Gain Grounder.
How about a Shenmue or?
He looks like
I'm more of a
Shenmue
Shen
or-
shaker.
Okay, fair. Shenmue 1 and 2 are coming to consoles and PC later this year.
That's cool for Shenmue fans. What's the translation situation?
You mean
I think they said that they are keeping the same, like the Shenmue 2.
The
will
authentic
have-
Shenmue
Oh,
experience.
you mean will they clean it up? Well, surely they'll stick with the.
I believe they're
redoing
sticking with the
anything?
original stuff.
Yeah,
I thought they were bringing Japanese and English voice.
Yeah, I think.
yes,
that,
it will have both. Yeah, so
which I think some of those versions of Shenmue 2 didn't have both at the time,
Right,
but
right,
I
right.
think that they will just have both.
that was only an Xbox release. Is that right? Originally, first one was Dreamcast.
First
second
one was
was
Dreamcast.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
That sounds
Yeah.
right.
I think that's right. Anyway, higher resolutions, improved textures, graphics
Sure.
options on
Sure.
PC. You'll be able to choose between modern or classic control settings and English or Japanese voiceover.
Okay.
$30
For
both?
sounds like for both.
Okay.
This is a little bit vague, but I think that's the price for both.
I'll think about it. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. But, hey.
Yeah, all power. Hey, I'm a big fan of letting fans of video games play those video games in convenient ways.
Yeah,
Sure.
Fans of Shenmue rejoice.
I've never played the second one. I've never wanted to play the second one.
Yeah. Dark Souls got delayed on the Switch.
Yeah.
Man.
To quote summer 2018.
Oh, man.
The interesting thing is none of the other versions got delayed. Dark Souls, this is Dark Souls remastered, obviously. PS4, Xbox One, and PC versions of that are still coming out on May 25th.
I would imagine that would be an easier job on those 3 platforms and a harder job on the Switch. So maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nobody who works for the Switch is good enough to beat the game, so they can't they can't get to the
Nobody who
last
works
parts.
for Switch Corp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy because they announced it first on the Switch, and I got the impression that Nintendo was like behind it.
Yeah.
Like
Well, there's an amiibo.
Yeah, so the amiibo has also gotten delayed along with. Sorry.
Damn it.
Even more devastating.
It seemed like Nintendo was
The amiibo has been delayed.
Oh, no.
Nintendo was maybe involved in the promotion to some degree,
Yeah.
but now that version is not coming out.
How am I gonna praise the sun?
You're just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Stare into it.
Yep. Directly.
I think that's it. Castlevania iOS game got
That is
announced.
not it.
Anybody?
What is?
Yeah, sure.
What is
right.
it? What is it? Is it
That
a
happened-
match 3 puzzle game?
That
Is
happened.
it
I don't think they said. I think it's an action game that happened as we were walking in here,
Okay.
so I didn't really.
Look at you trying to skirt away from the Monster Hunter.
No, I legitimately forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
But as we are out of the 90-day launch period,
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, there's a hard cutoff for this stuff? I didn't know that.
podcast time for Monster Hunter has reverted to the traditional minute.
All right, here we go. There's a new special time event. We talked about events.
Yeah.
This is not going to stick around, but it's like a multi-person siege event, much like the Zora Magdaros, shoot cannons at big ass monster, but you're not fighting on the monster. Anyway, brand new monster being announced
Wow, that's
today.
Gilded monster. That
Yeah,
thing
it's
is
like a
gold.
big. Yeah, he's all gold. You'll be able to get new weapons off of him, new materials. This is a special time event that you can have up to 16 people go into like one instance, as it were. But it's
seems like a big deal.
It's in groups of 4. So this is a brand new type of multiplayer mode.
Is it competitive between the teams at all?
No,
or-
you'll need to coordinate. Yeah, so it's like everybody. No coincidence, 16 people to a guild hall, like a guild room, as it were.
Right.
I'm sure getting all those people together will be easy with that.
Yeah, what
online.
could go wrong?
They've made it really easy to get people together and play Monster Hunter anyway.
I'm sure
so-
once you take
Oh, I
5 minutes
see.
to learn how the multiplayer
Yeah.
works, then it's actually
I
no
see.
problem
Okay.
whatsoever.
So you get
like
all
for
of-
our like on our stream.
Yeah, it took us 5 minutes until we figured out how to work it, and then
Hang
once
on,
we
guys.
worked it out,
I just
it
gotta
was
watch. I just gotta
absolutely
watch
fine.
The, just
Yeah,
gotta
hold on,
watch
Jeff
the
has to watch the
cutscene,
cutscene.
and then maybe we can.
Well, let me tell you about the part where people joined my session and I kicked them so these guys could join, but it never frees those slots up after you kick people.
we're gonna
for
get
new
hung
people
up
to
on
join.
this stupid bullshit, aren't we?
So this says you have 16 people get together in the gathering hub, but
Yep.
then each hunting party will split off into groups of 4 hunters, but will be working together to investigate and hunt down the same monster.
Yeah. So it's like one of those siege things. So you'll be shooting cannons at it. You're not actually. I don't know if you're going to be like up front and personal with this dude or what, or like once you knock it down, if you're like farming materials off of it or
Yeah.
what. But
That's a really good Palico outfit.
yeah,
Do you
That's
carve?
really good.
yeah, probably. I don't know, or it's
Because
just
you don't
like
carve
quest for rewards.
Zora Magdaros, do you?
Not
You do climb
exactly.
it and like
Exactly. I'm
find
trying to remember.
stuff on it.
Yeah, sometimes you can find
Right, yeah. You'd
his
find parts while you're
materials.
running around on it. Yeah, that's right.
And in previous Monster Hunter games, there's moments in which you can knock over a monster and then you'll like start mining for shit. So
Okay.
because they'll expose like
Yep.
a weak spot
Yeah.
or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, this is right off the heels of the spring event, which is wrapping up tomorrow, I believe. And then this is going to start up right at the same time.
Okay.
And that's cool. Like they announced it today, it's going to be out tomorrow. That's
And
that's pretty rad.
you know, like we were talking about events with Sea of Thieves, but you know, unlike that, like this is a fairly robust game
Yep.
with a lot going on already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and they're
the
explaining
events and the
everything
live
that's
game
going-
aspect of it, you're like, cool. All right, more stuff to do
it's a
in a game that
little-
already has like already I have gotten my money's worth out of this game.
Totally.
Uh,
I don't feel nearly as bad spending like $18 for emotes because they're giving these free content updates.
oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I should-
fair
I should-
enough. Yeah.
yeah, I should.
Have they added a lot
Different
more
words.
paid stuff, or is it just the Ryu costume stuff?
Just it's just that stuff as far as like, and the emotes, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, there's still a lot of free stuff that they're putting out there.
Cool.
I found a write-up on this Castlevania iOS game.
What you
Great, hit me.
Do you remember those weird XBLA multiplayer Castlevania things they did?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I loved those.
Really?
Yeah, I like
did.
those too.
I really liked
Wait,
them.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Well, hey, you're in luck because it sounds a lot like that.
Okay.
It's some kind of side scroller. It's 4-player.
My favorite Metallica album.
Includes a 4-player boss rush mode and a 4v4 competitive multiplayer mode.
Do not want.
Gonna whip the shit out of you.
You can choose from different characters such as Simon Belmont.
I've heard of him.
Anybody?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Alucard.
Okay.
Oh, the stars of the anime.
Charlotte Allen.
Yeah.
Maria Renard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some new characters. Genya Arikado, a secret government agent.
What?
Love that guy.
One of the new characters.
Genya.
And Lucy, a young researcher and practitioner of the anti-Dracula arts.
Someone I can relate to.
Yeah.
This is
That was my minor, actually.
I don't know if
college.
this is a Polygon story. I don't know if that's their phrasing.
Or
not.
I'm into the
sound
pro
like
Dracula
the
arts.
old XBLA games. So.
But there's some screenshots out. It looks
like an iOS game.
kind of.
I don't know. That stuff's been coming along.
It's a side scroller.
I
yeah.
was gonna say, like,
When's it out?
Let's see if I can. Did not announce a release date, but will hold a closed beta test in Japan in the coming months.
I started playing Circle of the Moon recently.
Really?
Yeah.
that's a game.
Randomly?
That's
a good
'cause I
game.
saw somebody tweeting about it, and I was like, man, I did like that game quite a bit.
That's a damn good game.
Very good game.
I'm gonna start tweeting about bad games and tricking you into playing them that
Oh,
way.
no. Oh, I hope you don't tweet about Dota.
Dota, that's a game. There, that's my tweet.
See, this is I go one step
Yeah.
beyond by influencing you,
Yeah.
telling you the bad games.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
Except that then you spend another 1,000 hours playing Dota, and I win anyway.
No.
I want to play Boda instead. I just want an excuse to say Boda. Yeah, I think this is out this year sometime.
All right.
Looks kind of whatever.
Great. Looking
Uh,
forward to it.
Yeah.
yeah. How are your bladders?
Fantastic.
Shall we read some emails?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually have to go to a video game event shortly, so I may have to jump up here in a
Ooh
minute.
la la.
I got to go put some stuff on this SSD. We got to put this pocket SSD to use.
Oh, shit.
Bombcast at giantbomb.com. I'll hopefully get through at least a couple of these. Christian from Austin, Texas.
Hi.
Hey.
For some reason, my web browser of choice has always ranked giantknife.com ahead of giantbomb.com in its autocomplete suggestions. So it's the automatic choice if I were to hit enter at any point until I get to GIANTB.
Really? I just do. Yeah, it took me forever to get rid of Game Informer. I just scrubbed my computer.
With soap.
Yeah, it sounds like this guy should stop going to giantknife.com.
Yeah, it's like the more you go to it, the more it stays there.
No.
Right?
So this is the case despite my only having visited giantknife.com once versus the thousands of times I've visited giantbomb.com. Why? That's not even alphabetical order. Is it because it redirected to a YouTube video and I use Chrome? It's a great video, but now the domain redirects to a hugedomains.com landing page. I want to solve this problem and I refuse to clear my browsing history. Should I just buy this domain name for $2,695?
Yes, you should.
Or 12 monthly payments of $233 and redirect it for my own convenience?
No.
Yeah, probably.
To giantbomb.com?
I think so.
You should probably buy it
I see no
for
other
yourself.
sensible option at this time.
and then give it to us, and then we'll take care of that redirect stuff. Don't worry about it. Yeah?
I got some
Deal?
knives I could take pictures of.
Yeah.
I have a history of giant knives.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That might be my video he's
I think-
talking about.
There's a domain for you.
Yeah.
If you have,
Domain, come to visit me at Domains for You.
if you just have shy of $3,000. I was thinking about getting a domain. You have a bunch of domains, don't you?
I have like 6 or 7.
Some.
Yeah.
What is it? Just an annual fee?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And depending on the what .coms are a certain price, and
I don't
some
think
other
I
ones
could
are cheaper
possibly
and-
try to buy a .com at this point.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they're not super expensive.
Oh, aren't there lists of like the domains that are kind of between owners out there? Or
Oh
like
yeah,
stuff that
there
gets
are
freed
weird.
up?
There are weird sites like that like,
Maybe I
hey, we
should-
think these sites are going to go up
I
soon,
hate
and
you.
you could squat on them and get them. And
Maybe I should look into
there's
that.
a
I
lot
lost
of
one time, and I'm really bummed about it.
I was looking at like .pro,
yeah.
.zone.
Yeah.
Dot zones,
Dot
quality.
bike.
.bike
Yeah,
is not bad.
I've got a dot bike. I've
Yeah.
got a dot zone.
Yeah, even all the good ones of those are taken.
Got any good dot funds?
It's tough out there.
You can get like
Dot dad.
.republican exists.
Yeah, I'm not really into the long ones.
Yeah.
That much.
Yeah, it's like
I want
it
something you
defeats
can
the
say
purpose.
quickly.
Yeah. ...
website.
Mm-hmm. That's still too many syllables.
.web.
/.
Let's see.
How do I .web?
Ian from Colorado. Last week, Ben said that Mulholland Drive is one of his least favorite movies. I would like him to please explain himself. Mulholland Drive is my favorite movie.
Ooh,
And I felt personally insulted when he said he didn't like it. Why?
jerk.
I need an explanation.
Why
I mean,
did
I-
he feel personally insulted? I don't know.
Because we place our love in media way higher than we should, and that I do
That's
the
all
same
I have.
thing.
That's all I have. Man.
I don't know. I just didn't like it. They like changed the cast halfway through without really I like quite a bit of David Lynch movies. Blue Velvet. I really like Eraserhead.
No.
I like the original Twin
Eraserhead,
Peaks. It just fucking. It was all of his movies are. He has very clear visions of what he wants, and he makes these weird movies, and we don't have to like all of them, even if we like the director. Sometimes his artistic vision is not on the same level. Like
Is it your
maybe I
least
didn't
favorite
get
Lynch
it.
movie?
Wasn't-
Or,
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it
or your
originally-
least favorite movie?
It's one of my least favorite film watching experiences. And
Wow.
it was probably one of my first ones I saw of him. I think I saw
didn't
Blue
have-
Velvet first, and then that
I think, wasn't it conceived as like a TV pilot? And then he expanded it into a film,
maybe.
I think is what happened.
Yeah,
So
I
maybe
don't know
that-
much
Maybe
about
that's
it.
why it's so disjointed.
This is a good opportunity though to tell my favorite David Lynch story from his book. He released a book kind of where he talks about each of his movies. It's like a coffee table book, and he talks about like there was a question about like what's a very influential moment from your childhood, and he talks about being like a child walking down the street with his little brother and seeing a nude woman run screaming out of her house down the street, and he's just like, that was very influential to me. And it's just like, yeah, of course it was. Of course that makes sense. Of that happened to you as a child, and now you're this crazy old man who makes these incomprehensible but entertaining movies.
A lot of people don't know this. That was the day his hair went. Stood straight up.
There's a really good video. If you want to be influenced by something, there's a really good video of David Lynch making quinoa out there
Yes.
that I recommend viewing.
Interesting.
He's a hell of a guy.
Yeah. Just like
Seems
the
like
video opens, and he's just like, we're making quinoa.
David Lynch is cool
He is.
and weird.
He's got his own MO.
That's for sure.
I dig that, dude.
I respect the hell out of him.
Adam from Toronto. With all the attention around the reinvention of Kratos and the new God of War, is the video game landscape ripe for more generic dude bro reimaginings? Could we get Dad Duke Nukem, Married Man Master Chief, the romance of Marcus and Coltrane? What dude bro would you like to see reimagined? I mean, if you were going to do a Gears romance, it's got to be Marcus and Dom, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, come on.
Yeah.
If you're going to ship your Gears characters, get it right.
I saw people musing about like Duke Nukem, a modern Duke Nukem taking place in America now, and he's like, he's on a tear. I mean, that could go very clearly in either direction.
Right, yeah.
And I thought that would, like, if handled by the right people, that could be pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
But it sounds very hard.
Yeah, that's a tightrope for sure. No, I don't know. I think that all those games are it's hard with those in particular because they're all in the middle of things. Like Gears just started another trilogy. Halo is about to wrap up its second trilogy.
Halo was kind of going for that. Trying to get in his head a little bit more. And
oh, sure.
And like his and
There's
Cortana's
definitely
relationship becomes more real and mature.
hot.
I just want more washed up, like, dad characters.
yeah, like the Kratos take is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because he is just grumpy and old, and like you can tell he's kind of a little achy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just kind of over it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good take on that character.
I can relate to those.
Him and Old Snake
Yes.
having drinks,
Yes.
talking about putting guns in their mouths.
Old Snake is like the perfect example.
Yeah.
Question from Thomas. I was driving to work today, and a strip club that I passed by was advertising now Twitch TV here. Help! Is Fortnite really this popular? What is happening?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Are they streaming from there?
I don't know.
I'd watch that
Oh,
stream.
I didn't think about that. They could be going IRL,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, totally.
I
With a
don't know.
capital R.
Or they could just have a station that a stripper just goes and plays a game.
Either way.
Yeah. But yeah.
God, that's fucking smart.
Fortnite is everywhere.
Yeah, if they're like, hey, we're watching esports at this strip club, please come in here. We got the esports now.
Yeah.
That's
Jesus Christ.
I don't think I like that. But okay.
But if they had, some of the ladies
Streaming.
streaming over there.
There are
They
websites for that. It ain't Twitch.
Yeah, I know.
It
Yeah,
is
that's
Twitch.
Well, it is actually, it can't, you know.
I'm not saying I would watch that. I absolutely would
You'd
not.
walk into the strip
watch
club and be
that.
like, I can't see anyone here wearing this at a mall.
God. I don't even want to have this conversation. Fucking.
How is the food though?
Yeah.
The buffet, yeah.
Let's see. Alex in Bendigo, Australia.
Bendigo.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
At several stages in my life, I've encountered devoutly Christian men that have been armed with nunchucks. This pairing perplexes me both in its nature and relative commonality. Any idea why that is their chosen weapon?
You can make it into a cross real quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
If
like
you
many
read,
vampires
if you read
show up?
Ecclesiastes, the literal reading of it,
see.
you'll understand a lot more about nunchucks.
Okay, that makes sense.
None chucks, huh?
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Mm,
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably it.
That's
Ooh,
probably
good.
it.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's
They
a
used
good
to tie
read.
2 nuns' shoes together
Mm-hmm.
That's a good read
until
on
they
that.
came up with sticks.
Kyle from Chicago, Illinois. I thought you might find it
I can't
interesting.
believe we're breezing past the devout Christians with nunchucks.
If you got any more,
I don't have anything, but I'm just like,
Then we're moving on.
That story tells itself.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess.
I have nothing to add other
I
than
guess. I need to know. I
fucking
need to know.
using the power of the Lord to fucking go.
I can ask for the Lord.
Like, why would anyone be using nunchucks?
If they're not in junior high, that's a great question. Because in junior high, you get access to shop class, and the first thing you do is like, yo, let's make some nunchucks.
Okay, I'm sorry. We can move on. I'm gonna kind of be mentally checked out thinking about nunchuck
all you need
Christians.
is 2 sticks and a chain. Kyle from Chicago.
2 Sticks is one of my favorite rappers. Go on.
Word.
He has
I
nice chains.
thought you might find it interesting that this past
3.
weekend,
Weird.
while I attended the
AJ.
Midwest Gaming Classic, I was
MGC.
surprised and shocked to turn around at one point and nearly bump into Billy Mitchell. This was incredibly surreal, considering this would be 2 days after the whole Twin Galaxies incident.
Oh,
While I personally didn't speak with him, he had a line of people taking pictures, and I'm sure the number one comment he was dressing over and over would be about what happened.
Say it ain't so, Billy. That's what they would say.
yeah.
I don't know where you guys all stand, but I found it pretty insane that he'd still show his face at a convention 2 days later, but perhaps he's just out to get that paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, if they had signed him
they
to appear,
probably,
then, you know,
Yeah. That I'm sure. Yes.
So, yeah,
he's got a
plus
lot of
it's-
hot sauce to move.
That's
I'm sure
right,
he
yeah.
brings some with him to sell at events like this
yeah,
or do
it's
something,
not,
right?
It's
I
not
don't
like
know. Who knows?
he'll stop showing up at public appearances, right?
Yeah.
Those guys, make stops at MGC. Like Walter Day goes to MGC. I don't know if they're paid appearances or not, but
I don't know.
yeah. I got some Twin Galaxies baseball cards
Hmm.
signed by Walter Day.
Nice.
Wow, that's cool. Wait, they made their own baseball cards?
Yeah, they did.
Weird.
Yeah,
That sounds like something they would do,
yeah, it is.
I guess. Joe writes in about how GTA 5 got to 90 million copies.
Yo, Joe.
I'll open this email by saying that I've purchased 3 PC copies of GTA 5 for myself.
Oh,
The reason, which I can only assume is the reason they sold 90 million copies, is that some GTA 5 codes come with a shark card, and in some places on the internet, it's often cheaper to buy another copy of the game that's bundled with a shark card than it is to buy the shark card itself.
right.
That's got to be why there's so many.
So that sounds gross, but sure.
What's a shark card?
Is it just
It's
currency?
it's like $100 worth of.
Oh, is it that much?
Or yeah, I don't know. It's
So it's a lot.
If the shark is the tie-end one, or if they're all called shark cards, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. But it is. Yeah, that's just a bundle of in-game currency.
Let's start selling shark cards.
But a lot of currency, apparently.
I believe so.
Sounds like it. Okay.
shark card.
Shark card. Here's an email from Isaac about, since we were talking about Viva Pinata on PC last week. Since it came up last week, I feel like I should chime in. I own a physical copy of Viva Pinata for the personal computer, and it
Mhm.
no longer works.
Oh,
It installs an ancient and now totally separate Games for Windows Live client that cannot authenticate and cannot integrate with whatever Games for Windows Live is now. When I went to Microsoft support people about it, they repeatedly and emphatically pointed me to a digital purchase page and basically told me to buy it again or fuck off. So I downloaded a crack.
There you go. There you go.
So
Words from the wise.
Crack kills.
word to the wise. Yes.
Hmm.
Josh from the UK. Which controller has the most satisfying analog stick click? Back in the day, I used to enjoy pulling the GameCube controller analog stick with my teeth and pushing it back down with my tongue in between Smash Brothers matches.
Next email.
Is that some weird Smash community ritual?
No.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Tonguing your analog stick?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, because
It's why Smash boxes were outlawed.
you don't want to do that because you don't want the nub rubbing off.
Nub rub?
You want a good nub rub.
I want a good nub rub.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Oscar in Brisbane, Australia. Is Kazuya Mishima the grumpiest video game protagonist?
We've already established. Like,
See,
He's pretty fucking...
he's pretty grumpy. Like, Kratos is mad and angry and stuff, but he's not... I mean, he can be
You don't
grumpy,
know, Ben.
but he crosses that grumpy line so frequently.
Yeah.
I would say the new Kratos is definitely giving him a run for his money.
yeah.
Okay.
That is a
just-
grumpy old man.
brooding.
Because, yeah, Kazuya never gets, like, too emotional. He always just has, like, a level... He has a zone of angst that he, like, zips around
Yeah.
in.
Volcanoes do that to a man.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. No, I would still say grumpy old Snake Man.
Yeah. Grumpy old snake man.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Sam from Manchester, England. I'm just going to read this email straight. I've been on a health kick recently and sadly fallen into cravings for an American staple, the PB&J. Peanut butter and jelly to you, a guilty snack after working the night shift to me.
Not a guilty snack.
Minus-
one of the world's most perfect foods.
Minus
Go
the
ahead.
jelly for our British equivalent of jam or preserves. So my question to you fine patriots is, how do you like to prepare your legume-laden fruit snack, if and when you make those tasty bastards? Also, how does my English take on it suit you?
That's fine.
Firstly, I get 2 thick cut white bread slices, lightly toasted, and slather them with smooth, organic peanut butter on both slices.
That's fine.
I then use Scottish strawberry preserve or damson jam on only one slice.
Yep.
I have experimented with adding meat to the equation. Bacon was pretty decent.
Bacon could
Ham
work.
not so much. And ranking last would be corned beef.
In a lot of surveys, corned beef is down near the
Ranked
bottom.
last,
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to help this poor starving Brit in his time of need.
No,
Nice.
that sounds like
That
he's
sounds
got it
pretty
right.
standard.
I don't think
I
you need
like
to put
the,
meat on it and fuck it up like that. But
Yeah,
No,
that's
I like the
maybe-
I'll throw
lightly
bananas
toasted
in there.
business,
Yeah.
but a banana works. Yeah, fantastically.
I like crunchy peanut butter and a cream peanut butter. I don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
I skipped over like a ton of apologia in this email about chunky peanut butter.
That's because people who
Like, I-
prefer crunchy just get on such a high horse about
Do
it.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent a second email
What do
like
you mean?
apologizing for
I'm not
for
on a fucking high horse.
denigrating chunky
I love
peanut butter.
chunky.
Not
Oh,
you.
not me. Not
Other
me.
people.
Just you fucker.
I don't like. I guess chunky peanut butter has its place, but I don't think it's in a PB&J.
At the high end of the list. That's where it.
I don't know.
That's where it ranks.
Also,
I like peanut butter. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Like
Same.
if I'm buying peanut butter, I will probably buy crunchy.
Yeah, you will.
But like if
Yeah,
you
high
said,
five,
like,
brother.
Yeah, if you said here's some creamy peanut butter, I'd be like fucking rad. Let's go.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would do that too. I just love it all.
I like peanut butter and honey sometimes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Shit.
I'm telling you, you mix a little bit of margarine with your peanut butter. Okay,
Okay.
it makes it a little more creamier. It adds a little something. Adds a little something. So do that with your next PB&J.
Well-
Just a little bit of margarine or butter on the peanut butter side, because
All right.
I have to, Jan. I just saw this link you just slacked me. I have to go to this event right now.
Yes.
But it just came out that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 will not have a single player campaign. So I don't know if you guys want to discuss
Breaking
that.
news.
breaking
Oh,
news.
wow.
Bit.
Wow.
That's
wow,
kind
wow,
of
wow, wow.
wild.
Yeah.
Multiplayer and zombies only.
Huh.
So
is that why the Modern Warfare 2 campaign is campaign only then? Because that's the only single player campaign that holy shit.
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. That's on Polygon if you want to pull that up real fast.
No, I think that's all I have to say about it is holy shit.
All right, you guys will have to wrap this up. I got to run.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll talk about it on the after show. Maybe
Bye, Brad.
we'll get into some of your reactions to it. See you, Brad. Have fun with
Bye,
the video
Brad.
games.
Bring back that SSD, please.
Yeah. No campaign.
I don't know.
I mean, what?
I mean, that's
really
always
want
the
a
thing, right?
PB&J.
Is you always
is
would
like,
say
what
like
percent of people actually play that?
right.
campaign?
That's always the thing, and you could kind of go look at trophy information on PS4 and start to get a rough estimate of that, because there's always like a really easy to get trophy in a Call of Duty campaign, and you just look at the percentage of people that got that.
So my question is, why even call it Black Ops 4?
Because Black Ops has traditionally been as of late, the best-selling sub-brand.
Okay, so it's just for the name.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We don't know anything about the setting of it.
Yeah.
So like the
But
setting
what does setting
of it,
mean in
right?
a
What does setting mean in a game with no
multiplayer game?
campaign is a great fucking question.
Thank you.
But oh man, because Black Ops itself has been like kind of 3 different things. Because Black Ops 1 was kind of rooted in realistic weapons of the 70s and 80s, generally speaking. Black Ops 2 was kind of a near future thing. You still saw the roots of real weaponry, but it was realistically spun out. They brought a futurist in to do some interviews and stuff like that. They were trying to keep it grounded, trying to keep the conflict in the campaign, have it make sense. And then Black Ops 3 was a weird mindfuck where Christopher Maloney only existed in your head or whatever the fuck was going on. And that thing was off the rails with superpowers and stuff. So by not having a campaign, it frees them in some ways where they can go like, we just want to have good guns for multiplayer and really focus on that, which is kind of exciting in a weird way.
And you were talking about like not really knowing where the story would go,
right?
So maybe they just didn't have a good idea. Like I'm sure there's a lot of things that go into making this decision,
right? Also, like, but I bet the chief idea is like we've looked at the numbers. It's just not, it's like the campaign is not bringing people in,
and we don't have any ideas on how to make the campaign bring people in.
So at that point, like, honestly, the thing I've felt that they should do for a long time is to break away from like all these conflicts and all this stuff and just get into the idea of just like, we have made a Call of Duty game that is free from the tethers of reality. And now we can have these maps be set anywhere, anytime, whatever.
Yeah.
And like there were a couple of maps because of the like inside your mind aspect of Black Ops 3, you had some maps that were like World War II all of a sudden, but like crazy on a floating island and like weird shit like that.
Right.
And so if this pushes them further in a direction where they can say like, hey, we've rooted this in reality from a gameplay perspective because we hear you don't like it with the jetpacks and all this other bullshit, but we can kind of zip around wherever and be like, this level is set in Vietnam because fucking why not? And the guns are always the guns, or, maybe it's like Quake 3, but instead of pulling... The opening of Quake 3 is them pulling combatants out of time, and they all get to fight on the same plane. What if this is just, we've pulled guns out of time? And so it's like, it's an M16 versus a laser rifle. Who's going to win?
Probably the laser rifle.
Maybe not, though. Like, M16s turns out to be, like a resilient weapon or whatever. And it all depends on the armor. Because if you're not wearing armor, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
And they could balance it that way. I have no fucking idea what
full
that will end
price,
up
$60, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like making money. And if they can then... So think about it also this way. If their pitch for this becomes... we've really focused on the multiplayer in a way that we don't before, and here are big names that are the announcers, and here are like
it frees up a lot of resources too. Like they don't have to spend any development time on the single player mode. Yeah. It's all in on that multiplayer.
And if they just turn up the production values on multiplayer, I don't know how many more or fewer sales they get there anymore. Though I like if they say like, oh, we've got Ice Cube is back to do announcer voices, I'm excited, but like
we got Obama.
Sold.
Yeah, but like I was probably going to play this year's Call of Duty anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what they do that moves the needle one way or the other, but I think the number of people they will lose by not having a campaign is pretty minimal. And if they can like make up for it with a couple of like, this game has 50% more maps at launch than the last game, or we've done this thing to multiplayer.
What if it's all just zombie improvements?
Oh, that would really suck. That'd be a bummer. If it's just like, hey, we really quadrupled down on zombies, I'd be like, fuck. All right, that's going to do it for the show. We'll be back with the after show in a little bit here.
Yeah.
I got a sandwich that I'm going to try to eat.
Try and salvage
PB&J?
Oh, that's right. Your stew pack.
Not a PB&J.
No. It's like a turkey.
Really is one of the world's most perfect foods. It's fantastic.
It's a great thing, but it's not substantial enough. It never is. Like that's like
eat
a fun.
4 of them.
Yeah, that's
I
like
eat 4 of
that's
them.
like the dark road you go down
That's
when you
fine.
agree to eat a PB&J. Is like
half a loaf of bread.
I'm gonna have to keep going.
So PB&J on a bagel.
Yeah,
I like the
could do it.
crispy outside of the bagel with the
no.
PB&J.
No, because you bite into the bagel and then it'll squeeze out.
They
on
do
side.
they do the
That's why
bagel
you-
days here, and
gotta-
I'll
you
toast
gotta
the
be
bagel and
clever.
put peanut butter on it.
Sure,
and that's
Try it-
okay.
Try it with butter,
with
peanut butter and butter.
peanut
Just
butter
like-
and butter.
Yes.
Heart healthy.
Yep.
That's going to do it here for the Giant Bombcast.
What's going on this week?
What's going on this week? We got the after show up
we do.
after this. Brad is going to attempt a... I say attempt, but this seems like very doable, but also I guess I haven't done it myself in a very long time.
Yeah.
He is going to have a warpless attempt at Super Mario Brothers.
Because he's never done it.
He's never done it before. Which
All right.
I...
Everyone should have to do this at least once.
Yeah. So I am very excited to sit and watch him do that and see if it actually is something that you can just kind of breeze through.
I doubt it.
I bet he's gonna have some trouble.
I know that there are 2 castles that will cause problems because I wouldn't want to play those 2 castles anymore.
Yeah, totally.
We'll see how it goes.
So yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow. We got some more stuff coming up this week.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks everybody for hanging out.
Yeah.
You can hang out. GiantBomb.com is the website. We got a premium membership. If you're not one of those, you can sign up for stuff and you can see stuff like
Giant Bomb
Brad.
Infinite.
Yeah, Giant Bomb Infinite. You can watch that. You can watch Brad play the Mario Brothers. Sorry, Mario Brothers. Sorry, I was in New York recently. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, it happens.
It's Mira if you're a free subscriber, but Mario if you're premium.
We'll be back next week with another episode of the Giant Bombcast. See you then. Thanks. Bye.